Good evening and welcome everybody to day 2 of ProBots here on ESChamp. We've got an exciting night lined up for you. The bottom half of our first round of the bracket. We'll be taking a look at that in just a moment. But before we dive into things, make sure you all check out our resources and our forum and everything there. We've got an awesome forum where you can stay up to date with what is happening here on ESChamp and have conversations with other members. Speaking of other members, we have the best members. We've got our Crown Club, and if you want to get some exclusive behind-the-scenes content, which we're going to actually take a little bit of a look at in just a little bit, you can check out our Crown Club and get some really cool perks, and it goes a long way to help support future seasons of ProBots. So definitely check that out. There's other ways to support as well, as we are now on YouTube fully. You can subscribe through YouTube, get some cool emotes. I don't know if we have it on YouTube yet, but we've got a nice little scuffed Drek emote that you can check out in the Discord as well. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and get Endersword in here, my co-caster for the evening, and then we'll take a look at tonight's bracket. How you doing, Dave?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, and you?
Oh, I'm great. I'm ready for some more ProBots action.
Me too. Always ready for robots.
Mm-hmm.
They're great.
Did you ever finish your robots, your little Autonauts game?
Oh, yes, I did. I did wrap it up last
Excellent.
weekend, I think. Yeah, it's pretty good, pretty impressive.
Awesome. Well, let's take a look at our bots that we have going tonight. If we can get that bracket up, that would be lovely. We have 4 best of 3s coming at you. We're going to be starting off with TheHarvester versus MadAI. I'm really excited for this one. TheHarvester is going, it's like a blossom waiting to bloom. You know, there's a lot of work going into that, and there's going to eventually, it's basically being built with machine learning, I believe, in mind. So it's got a lot of development. As of now, it's a little bit static, but it should be a very good matchup versus MadAI. Also, we don't have a ton of info on MadAI, but I do know it's working on it's got a neural network. I don't know exactly what that entails, but maybe you can give us some insight.
Yes, it could be very good. I mean, that's how AlphaStar itself was running. It was running on the neural network level. It's it's a very difficult to back out why it's doing what it's doing. So anything that's machine learning is often described as very black box. A neural network is much more obscure than that. So it will create nodes that are essentially decision nodes, and then based on what it's seeing, it will decide different things. If anyone wants to play with, there's a really cute and easy way to get into neural network learning. There's a thing called Mar.io, like Mario, and there's a neural network that you can kind of download and start to train on your own that will play Mario Brothers. And awesome. you can see how it will evolve out of just the simple like 6 button presses it can do, and then it will evolve generation after generation to get a more connected brain, essentially. So that's a very, very simplistic way to look at it. I'm betting that this one is a lot more complicated since it's using it to pick a build order.
Yeah, to play StarCraft as opposed to Mario. A little bit more complicated. Yeah. But yeah, this should be a really good matchup. Coming up after that, we have got BlinkerBot versus Strelok. Strelok, one of our veterans at this point, I would say. And then BlinkerBot, a newer bot. BlinkerBot, I believe, is pretty simple in what it does. You know, it's got Blink Stalker Micro, obviously. But it does have a little trouble reacting to cheese, which I've noticed some of our bots have started to favor cheese. You know, Tier always likes to do something cheesy. There's a few in the thing tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I'm curious to see the improvements to Strelok in particular. I think we've heard that it's gotten a fair bit better. There was a few things last season. It showed a lot of the potential for really good control, but it was maybe it would get distracted by things, or kind of things would throw it off, or it was a little simplistic. And I think some improvements have been made there on it as well. So curious, but I don't know if it might be a good matchup, because I don't think of the Strelok bot as doing anything cheesy. It's fairly straightforward.
Yeah, should be a good one. And then after our little break, and again, right before the break, we are going to take a look at some behind-the-scenes content. So again, check out our Crown Club for some of that. But after the break, we will have MicroMachine versus ANIbot. MicroMachine, probably one of the better known bots. If you're new to the scene, surely you've heard of MicroMachine by now. You know, it's been a season winner multiple times. It's just always kind of the contender, almost the baseline. Can I beat MicroMachine? Then if you can, you're doing great, So that should be a good one versus ANIbot. ANIbot's always our chatty bot. I like Annie.
Yeah, it's chatty, and it's the most probably one of the most eccentric bots. It will occasionally go into things like Widow Mines, nukes, has a different build like that. So yeah, some pretty untraditional stuff, I guess they say. The good thing with that is it's not super predictable, so it's very hard to program specifically against it, as you don't know which one it's going to be pulling out. But unfortunately for ANIbot, like many of the bots, it has specifically listed MicroMachine as one of its weaknesses.
I love its weaknesses too. MicroMachine and Tempests.
Yeah.
It's good that MicroMachine can't have Tempests, says the bot author. So, yep, that'll be a good one. And then finally, we'll have Ketroc versus Sproutch. I saw we've already got the Ketroc cheer squad hanging out in the chat, so that should be a fun finisher. Sproutch, brand new bot, exciting to see. So we'll see what he has coming up for us.
Yeah, I want to see that one. It's supposed to harass a lot, and supposed to be good at macro. So let's see. Yeah, basically, I think its weakness, I think, is supposed to be like the simplicity a little bit, that it only uses like a few units, and again has some early game rush type strategy stuff. That shouldn't be as big a problem against Ketroc, but it is one of the newer bots, and I think limited in range. Like very rarely would someone come onto the scene and they can control like 15 units. They usually pick a core and then expand from there, and that sounds like where we're at.
Yeah, well, and that'll be really interesting to see against especially how defensive Ketroc is.
Yeah.
So that should be a lot of fun. All right, well, before we hop into all of that, we of course have to do our customary member shout out, because you guys are just so awesome. Let's go ahead and roll that right now. Thank you, Marco.
Good old Marco.
Thank you, good old Marco. And thank you to the rest of the ESChamp Crown Club as well. And yeah, as Laddie just said, make sure you guys like the video as well before we get started here to help give us a little bit more exposure on YouTube. Always helps a lot. So thanks for being here. I am excited. Dave is excited. Hopefully you are excited. And hopefully we've got our first match ready. I didn't see a timer. It just says soon. So
yeah. Soon TM.
It's soon now. Let's do it. Game 1 here on ProBots, day 2 of Season 3 2020. Wait for it. TheHarvester. That was good. Good timing. Sorry, we're having some graphic problems there, everybody. Will this one play? Should we say this one too? In the bottom right. On Submarine LE. It is MadAI.
Nice.
I'll hopefully get those intros working.
I like the new overlay, or the whatever you call it. Thing.
Yeah,
it looks nice. It looks clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a little adverse to it at first, but yeah, I'm starting to like it.
I kind of like it. I like the symbols. Like they're like RPG type symbols.
That's what I didn't like at first, but it is growing on.
It makes sense. Like it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
it does make sense. Right. Anyway, we're on Submarine. We haven't seen a whole lot of games on this map yet, have we?
No, I don't think we have at all.
I don't think we've seen any.
Yeah, I don't think either. Because it's one of the few maps where you're on the top left and bottom right, as opposed to the other way around.
Oh,
it's usually bottom left and top right. So
that's an interesting point.
Yeah.
Well, it should be a fun match here. Yeah, MadAI versus the Harvester, a little PvP to kick things off. And if you're just tuning in, great timing. This is our first season or first round, first best of 3 of the night. So we've got a fun show lined up for you, everybody. Yeah, let's talk. What are their PvP options here? So here we go. MadAI, I was just gonna say, always kind of lets us know what he's gonna do. It is a rush defend build order. So he's gonna get that. What is he gonna build? Which one? Let's see. Oh, I thought he said what he would build in there. No, it's just a rush defend. So he's anticipating pressure.
It basically gives you the kind of the probabilities based on what it scouts. It usually spits that out right around or before the 2-minute mark based on what it is seeing. So obviously they're the shield battery coming down, but I like that it kind of weighs the probabilities and even tells you. So it's like, this is a, do I think this is a rush? Do I think this is a, 2 base all in? Do I think this is a what? Do I think, what are the odds of winning Georgia? Stuff like that. And then it picks one and it's like, I need a shield battery.
Yes. Well, I do think that Harvester is going to be setting the pace of the match, just as MadAI is the more responsive one. Harvester just kind of, its ultimate goal is to have some reinforcement learning. But as of now, it's just kind of got some set build orders. So it can either be a blessing or a curse. If the build order is good, it's like, hey, it's going to work out. But if it's, countered by something that MadAI is going to do, then he kind of gets stuck in that, doesn't he?
Yeah, pretty much. And we see that with like a lot of the bots that they kind of don't have a plan B or ability to roll out of something.
Yeah, exactly. No plan B. Yeah. There's a fun arcade game called Plan B, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's like a special forces kind of style.
There's a really useful pill.
No, yeah, this is a StarCraft audience. They don't need that. Come on.
No, that's true.
They won't need that.
That is true.
Anyway, yeah, we got a lot of stalkers coming out, so it is going to be, I would imagine some Blink, but it's a robo facility on the way for Harvester. At the same time, we've got Dark Shrine about halfway finished for MadAI, so I guess it's good that the Harvester is prioritizing that robotics way here in this build that he has chosen.
Definitely, and I mean, having the cannon and the shield battery there means that scouting definitely never got in to see any of this, and it likely won't. So, pretty good.
It's gonna go down. All right, so does he just go to Archons then? I guess is the question. That'll be interesting to see if the DTs try to persist and try to get damage, or if they're just like, oh, this isn't going to work, because I don't see an observer just yet.
Yeah, he made Immortals, which is, what I would expect, and it will probably, okay, there's an observer.
There it is. Yeah, I was like, I'm hoping one's coming up soon here.
So we'll see. The other thing, of course, with bots is they sometimes have a bit of trouble with kind of where to put things like that, and especially if the DTs end up splitting up. Then they can still do a lot of damage, and 3 of them are coming in. If you get 1 or 2 to the main and 1 at the natural, it's going to have trouble tracking that.
Oh, it's going to be close. Harvester does know these are here, and there is the observer. Yeah, he's going to catch all 3 of the DTs. DTs do recognize the threat and will pull back, which is really nice, but he loses 2 of 3. And that unfortunate is very unfortunate. Can't even make an Archon now out of those.
Yeah, I almost think too. Just as the observer came in, 1 had split off, and I think it was running towards the main.
It was trying your plan.
It was the first one that got picked off though, so it didn't work.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Well, as it is, Harvester's going to be able to counter attack. There is one Dark Templar here on defense. So if the observer maybe flies into the cannon or something, that DT can really have a fun time. But here we go. Harvester's going to try to push up the ramp, using some good Blink Micro to start baiting this down into more favorable territory. Ooh, I like the concave, but the Guardian Shield's going to help a lot.
Yeah. I mean,
he dies right away, so never mind.
he ideally wouldn't come down the bottom of this ramp here anyway. That's kind of the issue. Obviously,
the obs died.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Oh, no, wait, no, it didn't. Never mind. I thought it died. Either that or there's a second one. Oh, he's got multiple.
There's 2, yeah.
Okay. I thought for a second the DT was going to have a great time, but not today, my friend. Actually, though, MadAI holds. Yeah. Wow. I thought that was actually going to push through. I think Harvester could push the issue a little bit here.
Yeah. It would be. I think he could kill this army. It would be hard to then subsequently get up the ramp.
The Immortal gets ballsy.
Really nice. They always know the Immortal always kind of gets run down. But with the good MadAI micro, doesn't lose it there.
I feel like that Immortal could have made it home. It was close.
Yeah, I mean, he could have at least turned the reinforcements back and just fought this, and then retreated.
All in all, it's a really nice little back and forth, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Tug of war going on here.
Got these kind of random pylons out here.
Forward, yeah. It's in the direction of Harvester. Yeah. Oh, if it goes unscouted, no, it'll be seen, yeah. I thought maybe that north one was up far enough, but nah, it's not even close. Sentry gets sacrificed. That is unfortunate. So, yeah, very scrappy game here. MadAI and Harvester fighting for the middle of the map right now. MadAI really wants to save that reinforcing pylon, but does not. There's just too much firepower here.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting here that the single zealot causes all the stalkers to really retreat and back away, which kind of made room for the stalkers on the other side, because that could have been a rout if it all just went in. It's going to try and defend at the top of the ramp here again.
Yeah, I think MadAI is on the defensive so much that he just doesn't have a chance to even make a natural, while the Harvester's really going to pull ahead in the economy right now.
Yeah, now with 2 Immortals here at the bottom, he's going to be able to kill that gateway, and it likely will be able to break up here. 2 Immortals is probably too much to get chip damage on with the cannon, and the Observer going down does make room for this DT.
Oh, is that all of the Observers?
That was the last one. Like 3 of them died to that cannon.
Oh, man. Yeah, this is what he needed in the last fight, was those Observers to die.
Is it enough, though? Like, even if he holds this with the DT, so much damage is being done here that I don't know that he can recover it all. The cannon itself goes down, so when the next Observer comes, there's no response for that.
Exactly, yeah. There is an Observer on the way, so it is just a ticking clock at this point. The DT has tried his best. Maybe if there was like 3 of them here on this fight too, it could have done something. But yeah,
it's too long to clean this up, and he's just going to kill everything before that happens.
And it was just a little too much to afford on one base. You know, he's got the Forge, he's got Twilight, he's got all these tools. Wait, was he researching out of the Twilight? No, maybe not.
Yeah, I don't think so, because he never ended up with Blink. Yeah, I think when you invest this much on kind of the turtle into DT, one is the initial turtle, even though he's kind of calling that it was a rush defense, it ultimately wasn't really a rush. It was just kind of like a couple of adepts. So he didn't need that to do it. And then doing that into the DT, but then the DT is not doing damage. Again, the initial defense delays the DTs enough that then the detection is out, etc. So it just kind of didn't get going there at any point.
Indeed. Yeah, there was a few things I think that MadAI could have done differently, for sure. I think getting stuck on one base definitely didn't help. But all in all, it was a really fun little game. I like the back and forth. I love the DT idea, but just way too many Observers out. You know, had it maybe been a different build chosen by the Harvester, then it could have done a lot better had it been like, I don't know, Colossus, or no, I'm sorry, Stargate build or something like that. Yeah. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. We are getting our next game loaded up. It'll be just a little bit, everybody, having just some tech issues there.
Yeah, I think trying to fix the frame rate for y'all.
Is it not looking so hot?
I think that's what we're hearing from the old nice YouTube viewers. Yeah, but we'll try and get that fixed up. But yeah, I think overall here, it'll come down, whether this game is a repeat, it'll be down to what MadAI detects, and then what its build order call is. Like, MadAI has obviously a number of build orders and responses, and often the accuracy of the call it's making, which it's trying to make it kind of that 2-minute mark, what am I going to do in this game? If it is calling something like a rush defense and there's no rush, that's going to hurt its economy. It never expanded. It's just going to turtle up and it delays everything. If, however, it picks the right thing, kind of knows what it is and counters, then you're going to have more to go on. But it's very vulnerable to trying to get that scouting information.
Yeah, for sure. Fun little tidbit of information for new bot authors. We were talking about downloads earlier. In the description below, there is a bot you can download, a bot template to get you started. Fun fact about the Harvester, actually it's the creator of the Sharpie framework, Sharpie. And it's a very, very useful tool for new bot authors. Isn't that right? Where it can just help them. Yeah. What all does it do? I know you know a little bit more about it than I do.
I'm not certain how to describe what it does. I know that the
We
one,
should get a document that just shows.
yeah. Basically, it's that it just kind of explains a lot to you. Like there's a lot of like the commands that you wouldn't by default know what they do. And I think by being able to start with like some of those pre-built ones, you've got like kind of you could download a Zerg Rush bot, a Cannon Rush bot, and a Terran bot that whines about balance. And then basically the stock things for each of those races. And then you can basically kind of look through the code and just see how it works, and then kind of refer to some of that documentation to get a sense of like at least how you modify this. And that's usually the best way to get started, is get started with something that's at least just functional, and then you can change everything. So if it can at least start mining, build lings, now you can start tweaking it to say, okay, what if I add a roach warren? What if I tell it to do this? What if I tell it to do that? So you need kind of a foundation to go on, and there's a lot of resources out there to do it.
Yeah, good question. It is in Python. That is the most common language that our bot authors like to use. There's just a lot of available resources for Python. So, it just kind of makes sense that everyone kind of goes in that direction. But you can, of course, you can do it. MicroMachine tonight, we'll see, is in C++. Ketroc is in Java, one of the few. We've got 2 or 3 Java bots, actually, this season. But those are just a little harder because, again, not as many resources available for those languages. But yeah, definitely check it out if you're looking into making a bot. Java is probably the way to go if you want a nice kind of easy road. But yeah, should be good. Anyway, we've got our next game ready. Game 2, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to see who goes, if one of our bots can move on, or if we can maybe get an ace match. Let's hop in right now.
Ace matches are fun.
They're my favorite.
Yeah.
In peace, the Harvester.
The Harvester. Did it work? It didn't say anything.
Madman's MadAI.
And MadAI. Yeah, it's not saying anything.
Oh, well.
Almost got him. We got him halfway working.
Here we are. So we are on Death Aura. So similar spawning locations this season. Weird one. But let's ask the burning question. Is a non-voluntary draw possible?
Maybe.
Yeah, so Jason asked in chat here, and it's an interesting question. Is it possible for the last building of each player to be killed at the exact same moment? And I'm trying to think of the best way to achieve that. Because I imagine if you actually just fired at it, odds are you'd be mildly out of sync. But I bet the best way to do it would be to get 2 Terran buildings burning at the same time. And then if they ticked from 1 to 0, presumably that would happen on the same tick in the game.
Yeah, that's a good question. I would still think one would register before the other, though.
There's got to be something to decide that. Like, there must be something.
Well, somebody make a bot that does this. Come on. We have the resources, people.
A bot would do it. Yeah. Because I think even beyond frames, and I'm sure that, Alpha Star was calculating on this level, but there's a certain amount of actions you could do per, like there's an input rate, basically. And so you'd have to get them to come at the exact same input rate. But I bet there is a default, like red wins or something.
Yeah, it's just like if they both die at the exact same time, player 1 wins. Yeah.
So there you go. Yes, good idea. So someone...
The Harvester.
Oh, hello. Hi, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
That's who this is. In case you didn't know, we're looking at the Harvester right now.
There we are. Yes, go and make a draw bot, and then we'll randomly announce it in the middle of the game. So Adept's coming across this way, and I think we had a similar call made by MadAI that basically recognized the exact same sort of build and has gone for pretty much the same thing it did, with a shield battery at top and a forge. The cannon not yet done.
Yeah, it's looking very similar. Pretty similar rush distance, I think, as submarine. So,
actually.
Huh?
2 cannons this time.
Oh, 2. Learning already. Look at that.
Check it out.
It's that neural network at work, my man.
Exactly.
Boom, 1 adept down, 2 adepts down. Easy peasy. But here's the real question. Will MadAI be able to punish the expansion of the Harvester?
Yeah.
Because this is, again, this is looking very similar to last game. There's the Robo. So even if we see DTs again, which we should, yep, we are. There it is. Then in theory, this should not work unless he can somehow, some way get those DTs in before the observer comes out. I think this is actually a little bit longer. Not a whole lot, but a little bit longer than submarine. So the observer should be out no problem.
I think you're right. It's also a little more of a convoluted path into the main. So if one, again, tries to break off, then it's a little harder to get it in there.
But the observer's just going to go right over the whole pad, the whole way that the DT has to walk to get in. So, yeah, maybe working in some warp prism drop or something with the DTs would be a nice little addition. That's what the pros do, right?
Yeah, exactly.
DT harass into Archon drop. It's something we haven't seen a bot do just yet. All right, well, scouts to the natural. So MadAI knows that the economy, hopefully he knows that the economy is going to be starting to go in Harvester's favor. But looks like he's really committed to this one base defend here.
Yeah, definitely. It's very sheltered up. We even got 2 sentries there.
This would be great against Zerg that likes to put on some early pressure.
Yeah, definitely. You'd still have to find a way to... The problem with all this is you got to find a way to break out and then ultimately go across and win. And that becomes the issue.
Well, that's what the DTs are trying to do.
Oh, they are, yes.
I don't think it's... Yeah, the observer's out just about now, and they're only halfway across the map. So, holy crap, we have a map with ESChamp. I never noticed that. Do all the maps say that, ProBots?
Yes, it's part of the game.
Wow.
Yeah, they do.
Was that new, or am I just super unobservant?
Yeah, I think it's been there.
Oh my God, Andrew.
For a while.
Oh, the observer is way more observant than I am, and we'll see the DTs coming in, and one goes down. Did he save 2 of them this time? Ooh, that's good. All right.
They weren't even close to the place, so...
They're like, fuck that, I'm out.
Yeah. But the Harvester coming across here now. It's weird. He does the same thing, trying to put the pylon down right in the middle of the map, which gets spotted immediately.
I guess he's trying to, assuming the DTs get in and start wreaking havoc, you'd want to follow up with a few more, probably. At least that's what I'm imagining that's for. Oh, yes, there's the Archon that we didn't get to see last game because 2 of the 3 died. Horrible spot to morph it in. Let's see if the Harvester can capitalize on that. Oh, just barely doesn't. That was some good manners there. He let it finish up. Oh, here we go. That Archon is huge. It's going to absorb so much more damage this time. And now MadAI might stand a chance in this fight. Oh, it's going to be hard, though. Is the observer here? No. Yes, there it is.
If MadAI was able to stay back and kind of focus fire, he could have picked off like these 2 stalkers down here. He may ultimately get them, but look at how the damage is spread out. You've got so many that were so close to being dead, but they're just not really able to focus. The charge helps here so much, though, because of how the Harvester reacts to it.
Oh, so he got charged this time. That's what. Did he get charged last time?
He did, yeah.
Okay, so he was using the Twilight. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy. Not totally.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's see here if Harvester can push in. Yeah, the Immortal's just so strong here. There's the 2 cannons actually might hold this for a while. Let's see. He gets another observer. Is there any? Nope, no more DTs on the field.
Yeah. And yeah, again, also here because of the way that it's shaped, the observer, as I say it, he wanders into it. I was going to say it's less likely to be forced over the cannon, but it does as he goes up the ramp. So he will start killing everything off here. Zealot coming back in. And thanks, Jason, for the $10 and the emote
oh, snap!
of me breaking my last chair. Yeah. I
When did you
broke
break
my
your chair?
like a couple years ago. I had it for like I had my first DX racer since like 2010, and it finally literally just snapped in half one day. Like just the whole back just fell off. Like even the bottom part of the chair totally fine. Like
Oh,
I didn't even fall out of the chair. The back just fell off. But
Unfortunate. Well, MadAI looks like he got his chair broken as well. And Harvester will stay in the upper bracket, and MadAI will go down into the lower bracket. We don't know just who the Harvester will be fighting yet, but GG. That was a good series. I liked it. Definitely a lot of potential there. But I think Harvester is quite suited for some PvP. That looked really good.
yeah, definitely. Just kind of straightforward, had the right things at the right time. And that's about it. Just expand it and won. And the Stalker Micro is just really good in terms of like basically causing it to not focus fire. You end up with a concave that's so big. The only weakness to it was in a choke like that, it can leave half of its army completely separated from the other half, and that side ultimately died. But overall, it's really good. The more open the space is, the more effective that is.
Well, we saw that last week. Who was it? Where it was a PvP, right? Or maybe it was
against,
anyway. It was the exact scenario where, the Stalkers are able to pull everything down the ramp onto the low ground and then just get a huge concave and, really spread out the damage.
Yeah, exactly. So here it comes down that Archon really tanking for the beginning part of this. And it's kind of interesting there, too. The Archon was drawing the fire, and it wasn't till the Archon died that the army started to scatter away. Which is kind of interesting, basically, as the Zealots took over. But then ultimately here, just breaking it, and MadAI coming down the ramp there, especially since it was detecting like something of a rush defense, may need to get some sort of coating to kind of leash it.
Stay on the defense, yeah.
Because what's the point of the two cannons if you leave them?
Yeah. So, or the shield battery. It did get a little bit of healing on the Archon, but then the last little bit was wasted on. Yeah,
exactly.
So, are we a family friendly stream? Is that?
I've never thought of ourselves. I mean, I don't have a family.
I don't know. I do. We're your family. You've got robots and us, and what else do you need?
Exactly.
Yes, soon the robots will be our overlords, and they will be your family.
Yeah.
All right, we've got another best of three coming up before our break. We've got BlinkerBot versus Strelok in just a couple of minutes here. Let's go ahead and talk about these two a little bit now. Both these are in Python as well.
Yeah.
So again, kind of the most common language. But what are your predictions here? I know you were a big you were a pretty big Strelok fan last season, right?
I thought Strelok was pretty good in what it did. It kind of has almost a Gency style quality to it, but just without kind of the same level of it. So I'm curious to see if that has improved over the off season. But that would be my tendency to think if I was looking at a prediction. I think the thing that works again in BlinkerBot's favor, though, is potentially the blinking. That Stalkers controlled properly seem to be hyper effective, and obviously even like Alpha Star has found that they're mobile, they can be split, they just do really well when they're stutter stepping and blinking. If somebody really perfects that with blink as well, and which we haven't seen as much of, then I think there's a lot of option there, but I don't know.
Definitely. Well, we'll see. I think we're going to definitely see some Stalker Micro. That is one of BlinkerBot's special traits. But it does have a variety of build orders in its repertoire. So, we could see quite a variety of things here. It's not very good against cheeses. So do you think Strelok is going to cheese it?
I don't think it does too much. At least nothing too cheesy. I think it might have a few like
little pokes or something.
Yeah, pokes or one base pushes, but I don't think there was anything outright like strange or cheesy.
All right. Well, let's see as we hop into game one of our next best of three here on day 2 of season 3 of ProBots. And go.
Bernie's BlinkerBot. Armageddon's Strelok.
Yes, we are a bot-friendly stream,
Yes,
not a family-friendly.
that makes more sense, which only means that we don't curse in binary.
Yes, that's all. Still curse, just not in binary.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, you
Okay,
thought
there
there
you
was
go.
going to be no cheese.
There we go. So new revelations going on.
Ooh, a Strelok.
See
Getting
how this
spicy.
works out. Second one is coming out. Is this? I mean, I will say for Terrans nowadays, I mean, really for the last 2 years, proxy barracks have been standard.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it is. It can work. You can actually recover from a proxy barrack. It depends. I think it depends a little on how many proxies you do, though.
Yeah.
The more proxy barracks you do, the harder it is to
Yeah.
kind of bounce back out of it. So we're seeing 2 and a third SCV coming across. I think this is just full on proxy racks.
Yeah.
Make or break. Let's see what happens here. Will he build a third one? A fourth? Maybe they're just here to buffer and repair, or is he going for 4? Oh my goodness, there's a third.
He's going for 3.
Oh my goodness.
One going back is interesting. Because why do you need the 4th one then? But that's cool.
Fun fact:
I would
BlinkerBot.
have thought the 3rd one might have been bunker or something, but
Oh yeah, that'd probably be a good call.
Yeah.
This one might be for bunker. What
Yeah,
is this
maybe.
4th guy for? What is he?
Chill.
No, he's just here to hang out. He's offering moral support.
Super
BlinkerBot also uses the Sharpie framework.
yes.
Fun little fact. There's the 4th barracks. Okay.
There we go. Just saving up. And we're going to get the Stargate opening. If this is for... There's a few things this could be for. Some of them would be good. Some of them would be worse. If this is to go right up to Tempest or something, then it really depends. If he could get one out before this massive thing hits.
Was it
All right.
Darth Armageddon logged in successfully? Root answer. Oh no, not Order 66. You know, it is going to be a lot of Marine clones, so there we go.
Yeah. I feel the Darth names are not supposed to be the entire word, even though that's his name. It should be like Darth Armag or something like that. It's always half of a evil word.
Well, in case anyone didn't know, Armageddon is the author of Strelok there. So, and Bernie does Blinker.
Depth is pretty good here, but really good kind
Ooh.
of splitting and microing back by the Marines there to spread out a lot of that damage.
The
And
Adepts
we'll
just
get
shut
talking
this
about-
down, though.
Yeah, cold. Yeah,
They shut it down so hard.
did really well. And it is going to be a Void Ray that is out of this, which I think is quite good.
So now, did the Marines just not go in early enough? Did maybe he should have, instead of doing 4 racks, do 2 and get a few more Marines or something, or 3?
Maybe I still think this might even be okay. We'll see if the Adepts kind of continue. The Void Ray here is going to turn the tide a little bit more, though. Adepts struggling with the wall on the other side.
Ooh, Marines are good against the Void Ray, but with an Adept underneath it, they don't stand a chance.
Right. The other thing that always happens with air is Marines are good against Void Rays if they clump up and charge underneath it. And they're not going to. They will run away from it in a curved pattern.
Yeah, this is Dusty made a funny comment. This is almost like a weird Maru versus Trap game or something. That's a good call. Marines are going to book it home. One Marine gets a little stuck in the barrel. Oh, man, he is freaking out right now. He is not having a good day. He will go down eventually, but I guess the barracks are just going to keep cranking out units until they burn down.
Yeah, I suppose so. And I mean, as long as they're getting away with it, you might. All right. This is suboptimal. It would be better if they did just go home, like you said, and try and transition out. Which is, again, we talked about how this sort of thing is standard now, not usually like 4 racks, but the whole point is that you could delay enough that even if you get stopped, you could just float these things back home, roll into a factory in Starport, and just continue. But it does require that you sell. Well, that is ill-advised.
Strelok is committed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know why I didn't think they were. I thought the Marines were like, oh, we're gonna go back home and defend. They were just going for the one adept. I totally forgot about him.
So that is strange.
Either way,
because definitely I thought they were going home as well. Now they're going home, but there's not going to be much of a home to go back to.
Yeah. I do like that Strelok at least has the second base, and had he maybe pulled those barracks home and had something building at home as well, like a factory or something. There's definitely some potential to bounce out of this, but not when you stick to it for that long. Yeah, he's just like 2 minutes behind on everything else because he really stuck with that. And yeah, BlinkerBot is going to take game number 1 with a few stalkers, no blink this time. Adepts, that counts as blink though. Did we decide?
Sure.
The shade is like a blink, right?
It's basically.
Yeah, it's but at one moment it snaps from one place to the other.
Yeah.
So.
There you go. And yeah, definitely the adepts curb this, and then the void ray is just insurmountable.
That really, I wonder if that's partially why adepts were introduced, was to kind of help against the proxy barracks builds, because they are just so good against those Marines. And then of course if you get maybe a Marauder or a couple out, by then you can have an Immortal or something. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, it buys that initial wave of time. I guess
look at all the NGs coming out.
Yeah. Oh, he's just gonna leave. This is just BM. He's gonna let this burn down.
Oh, technically Strelok has enough money to build a command center.
Oh, probably, but he's not.
No, the SCV's trapped. Hold on.
Oh, there.
Oh, okay. No, I don't think it's going to. Come on, Strelok, you can do it. Build a command center.
I was confused at what was happening there. He started. Is that supply depot? There's 2 supply depots that have been started, and they're not being built.
Yeah, there's just no code for what do you do when you get into this situation, this exact moment. And that's where we see bots like MicroMachine right now would start building a command center, I'm pretty sure. There's a few bots that can just be like, oh, pick it up wherever they are,
Where's the other one? So that one's there. There's 2. Or were there 2? Okay.
Guess not.
I don't think there were 2. That was just kind of bug. All right. Cool.
GG. That was fun.
There you go. There you go.
All right, so we'll get game number 2 loaded up here. BlinkerBot claims that it doesn't deal with cheese very well, but that just was dealt with perfectly. And I don't know if it was more on just the right unit composition out of BlinkerBot, or if it was just too late of an execution out of Strelok,
I think I lean towards the second, which is I think the four barracks was excessive for what it was trying to do, because you want to get in there, like that the Protoss will eventually get the gateways up, and they've probably got 2 of them, and then they've got some tech behind it. Like that's standard. So if you're waiting for like 4 barracks to come, particularly given that like your first 2 were totally built before you even built the 4th, it's just not. Yeah, it's too long. And then if you're going to do it that long, you actually needed to wait longer. So, waiting for 4 barracks and then moving in with 5 Marines is at that point it's premature. Then wait for 10, or 9 or 10. So yeah, it depends.
All right, well, let's take a look at some of the highlights of that game here. And this just in, we are 1 YouTube member away from a new emote.
Ooh.
How's everybody feeling about a little scuffed Drek emote? I'm thinking it might be nice. Anyway, if you want to learn what the scuffed Drek emote is, you got to become a Crown Club member and join the Discord to get all the juicy inside details. No, we'll show you all in a little bit. But yeah, here it's just, a few Marines, but 2 Adepts pretty much shut that down completely. There was 6, 7 Marines there, and the Adepts just do so much damage against light units. And then there was 1 more here in the main. Yeah, it just was a little bit too late of an execution. Maybe if you could hop on that first Adept and kill it off, but by the time there's 2 out, it's just not going to happen.
Exactly.
All right, well, we've got our next game loading up in just a moment here. So yeah, if you want to check out our awesome emotes, you can join the Discord. We have a fun new little scuffed Drek emote. Drek is our lovely producer, our manager, our president, whatever he is, whatever you want to call him, king, because the Crown Club, so he's like the king, right?
Yeah,
something like that.
Right.
Anyway, we've got a cool emote with his grumpy face, so definitely check that out. Oh, Endersword, making it happen. So now we can get that scuffed Drek emote here on the ESChamp YouTube.
I'm still subscribing over on Twitch, so I might as well move.
Yeah. Maybe cancel that one. We don't do Twitch. Yeah, we don't do Twitch anymore. So if anybody has a Twitch subscription to ESChamp, get it out of here. Join YouTube or join the Crown Club. You get some awesome behind-the-scenes content, which, again, after this series, we will take a quick little look at some post-bots content that is exclusive for our Crown Club. But until then, let's watch game number 2 between these two bots right now.
Bernie's BlinkerBot. Armageddon's Strelok.
All right, game numero dos. We are on Pillars of Gold. And here is our lovely little proxy rack. Doesn't even attempt to hide it, just throws it down at the third base location. So, yeah, I guess it's going to be 4 barracks again. We'll see if he can maybe group up the Marines a little better this time. Yeah, somebody pointed out the stutter stepping against the Adepts, not always the best option. You know, the Marines really do at that moment want to just dive and target down an Adept, and then dive and target down the next Adept, and really just focus their fire. And that's kind of the only way that you're going to get through that. So,
yeah, I've always thought one metric that's not considered enough in some units like Marines is damage per surface area. And while there's units with higher DPS in the game, I don't think there's anything that is higher DPS for the space it takes up. So a little clump of Marines will just destroy anything, like pound for pound.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
So the radius that they can get within each other, and I think you're often better off that way rather than trying to have them stutter step individually and then kind of have them stutter step as a group together. But usually with Marines, particularly with something like a rush, you kind of want them stutter stepping forward, like always closing the distance on what it is. And I think we often see, particularly with the bots, that a lot of the units are very tentative and very hesitant when they need to be charging at something. And it's hard to make that distinction of when that's appropriate, when it's not. But I think when it's something like a single Adept, you just charge it. If it's a single Void Ray, you just charge it. And it's trying to be tentative about it, it makes you to die. Yeah.
Apparently, this is the knockoff version of Strelok.
Fair enough.
Bot devs on. Man, that's some expensive shawarma. How much shawarma are you getting? Like 100 pounds of it? Anyway, Dusty, welcome to the Crown Plus Club. Is that a thing? The Crown that's the YouTube thing, right? Crown Plus.
Yeah.
Because we've got our Crown Club, which is
Crown Club. This is the Crown Club Plus.
But this is the Crown Plus for YouTube, yeah. Oh, the Adepts decide they want nothing to do with the Marine Ball, and they're going to leave the main base wide open. So a very fascinating blink here. Yeah. So this actually gives Strelok a chance to really get some damage and kill some probes off. He's almost got the second Adept, or this third Adept down. There we go, and now the probes are going to start to fall. Void Ray's still a ways out right now. This is already way different.
Definitely. Now
clutch raise.
Yeah, very clutch. And last time, those being there kind of like confused and really stopped the Adept for quite a long time. So yeah, this little pack of Marines here. Let's see how it deals with the Void Ray as it comes out. It has killed a lot of workers. That little charge back at them is really helpful. 3 more died. It is going to potentially get one of the gateways. Does go down. It needs to get that one pylon.
Oh, it's so close. There it goes. All right, nice. So, yeah, the Adept's not coming out is huge because now the Marine trickle might actually be enough. Oh, he's got another gateway somewhere. Where's his other gateway?
Barely finished the Void Ray, and I think you win.
Oh, it's so close. He gets the Void Ray.
Right.
Oh, my God. Okay, so there is a gateway somewhere, though, right?
There is a gateway. Is there an active one though?
Yeah, he warped. I could have sworn maybe he warped it in right before it died or something. Okay. And it was a slow warp in. Okay, so the Marines are going to come back home and deal with these 2 adepts, which they're just kind of being a nuisance at this point. BlinkerBot's on pretty much full shutdown right now, though. He is trying to rebuild workers at 11 probes currently. Can't even afford a Void Ray at the moment. Strelok might bring us to an ace match.
Like 1 Marine coming back into this base would just end it.
These 2 adepts are actually going to kill a lot of Marines here.
They are, because they're going to come back kind of single file. Oh, now they got in. He lowered the bunker.
The Marines decided they didn't want to play that game anymore, and they're going to go back on the offense.
Yeah, he lowered the depots, so these are now...
Okay, the Marines are coming back.
This is going to do a lot.
Oh my goodness. It doesn't look like the workers really want to take part in the fight, so it is going to come down to just this little squad of Marines. Will they be able to take out these 2 adepts, or will the 2 adepts buy enough time for BlinkerBot to reestablish the economy and start reproducing voids? 1 goes down.
All right. So he's
there
held.
it is.
That
was
those
Marines are so soft, though, and the first Void Ray is being remade.
Marine soft. Look at those SCVs.
Everything's soft.
There's 28. Strelok has 28 workers with 42 combined hit points.
That's hilarious. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the Marines are going to try to go back across. A Void Ray should be out by the time these Marines start to hit, and that it's just going to be up to the Void Ray. There's no pylon been placed down to repower that gateway. Maybe soon. Maybe soon. Oh,
yeah.
What are you doing, Marauder?
Marauder
Stuck?
there. He shouldn't be stuck, but I think he might be stuck by the SCV.
No, he's just chilling, man.
Yeah,
he's not even trying to
walk out of there. Yeah, he just doesn't care. Void Ray has been started, but the Marines are back. This one is
7 Marines
for now.
Oh, the Marines are so low, but it's... oh my God, it's just enough.
One guy.
1 Billy left over.
Strelok, very importantly, is prioritizing high-sec tracking.
Oh, here we go.
Reaper here is actually kind of good, as it will go direct for these workers here. And keeping this economy down is good. And as we noted actually in the first game, Strelok on the back of this does actually expand. So it's not a complete all-in. So if he maintains an economic advantage for a long period of time, then this could still work even if he's not able to end it.
Ooh, Marines aren't targeting the Void Ray. They're still focused on that gateway for whatever reason, which, we still do see a steady stream of 6 Marines out. Ooh, combat shield. If that can finish up too, that is going to be extremely helpful.
Definitely a help. That distracting Reaper, definitely important here. We're going direct up to a Twilight, which is really good for when you don't have gateways.
Yeah, one almost dead unpowered gateway here. Yeah, it should go down. I think the Marines are going to do it, man, especially once combat shield finishes.
Yeah, another Void Ray will come out, but there's enough of them here now.
They can just shut it down pretty quick. Yeah,
take it out. Yeah,
he doesn't even need combat shields. Oh, probes finally getting pulled into some action here. They're going to try to save the day, but the Marine Micro is so good. This is what we're talking about. What we see Blink Stalkers do all the time.
It's good. Yeah, when you're against like a melee unit, then this sort of thing is appropriate.
Necessary, even.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Strelok has done it and will bring us to an ace match. If he can just kill this one pylon, which is starting to get targeted down, then it is all over. BlinkerBot can't even get another. Wait, actually, he could afford a Void Ray. Why isn't he building the Void Ray? I guess he's given up on life, Andersword.
Priorities, yeah. I think it had maybe already moved on into its Twilight Council build.
Yeah. All right, well done. Strelok with a clutch win here is going to be able to tie things up and bring us to our second ace match of the season.
I love on the Strelok side, in the middle of all this, it was getting just the most random upgrades that you could possibly think of.
What was it getting?
It got high-sec tracking, it got the Cyclone upgrade, and it was researching Cloak.
I mean, those are good things to deal with the voids, I guess. Oh, Cloak for the Banshee then, too?
Cloak for the Banshee, yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's good. That means Strelok really does have some follow-up. Even if that initial proxy barracks doesn't do super well.
Yeah, would have transition.
Yeah, the Marauder was the key, clearly. But no, I do think it's important to note, though, had the Void Ray been able to pressure the barracks, Strelok does not pull those back. So that's really the point of contention. If he can hold his barracks and keep pushing forward from there, then it's going to work out great.
Yeah, definitely. And we just saw kind of the key moment in this game, of course, was the Adepts just shading past.
Yeah, they just peace. Oh, they almost got in. Imagine if they had actually gotten in, though.
Yeah, if they got in, then nothing. Yeah, definitely. He would have been wiped out right then.
So that was a clutch little raise there. Very close.
Yeah. Now, around this period, I think he does get back in. So it's when the SCV came through that he tried to go get him.
Yeah, but by then, the shields are gone on one, and the Marines are already almost back home.
I kind of wonder if this is a thing here, too, that the shades were... It felt like they were coordinated targeting down the SCVs with 2 shots each, which is fine for a Zerg and a Protoss. But does it have the coding to recognize that the Terran requires 3? Because it left so much of them almost dead, and it didn't finish them. So I wonder if it knows that, or like what the coding behind that is.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a question for the bot authors. Yeah. That's what we need to do on one of our segments is get a little Q&A with some of the bot authors. That would be a lot of fun. Definitely. Kind of pick their brains. But all right, we've got our ace match loading up. It'll be just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Jason, for 2 more data. Game over. Man, look at these fun little things that YouTube has. That's way better than Twitch.
They're all hippopotamus based.
Yeah, what's with that? This is a ghost hippo. Oh, I get it because it's game over, so we die. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, check out our remotes. We got some fun stuff. And, of course, check out our Crown Club. We'll be, after this next match, we'll be taking a look at our exclusive behind-the-scenes post-bots, where we just kind of talk about the game, or the day of games that we just saw, and kind of give our insight and predictions and stuff like that. So it's just a fun little conversation. But definitely check it out if you like some extra ProBots content. It's a lot of fun.
Indeed.
All right. What's your prediction? Who do you think's gonna pull it out?
So based on just how that happened, which was the perfect timing of the Adepts leaving, I don't think that's gonna happen again. So my money is on BlinkerBot. Like,
you think that was a freak occurrence?
Yeah, and I think Strelok so barely won even after that. Like, it just barely was killing Void Rays, barely took out a pylon, barely killed a gateway, like that. I don't think everything was so razor thin its way that I don't think it will happen again.
That's how StarCraft is sometimes. We'll see. All right, game number 3 right here, right now on ProBots. Let's hop into it.
Bernie's BlinkerBot. Armageddon's Strelok.
Okay, if you are just joining us, I've noticed we got a nice little crowd tonight. Thank you for tuning into ESChamp. This is our second best of 3 of the night, our second ace match of the season so far. We had one last week and then another one this week, which is just always exciting. So hopefully we'll get a few more. But yeah, we're watching Strelok cheese the heck out of BlinkerBot, which BlinkerBot claims dealing with cheeses is one of its weaknesses. But game 1 obviously held super well. Game 2, I am kind of agreeing with you. I do think that was a little bit of a fluke. They had started their shade and then we're like, oh, there's Marines we got to fight. In the middle of the fight, their shade finished, and they're like, oh, there's no more Marines here. I think that's kind of what happened. But, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if BlinkerBot can ride the razor's edge once more, and who will take the win here. So, yeah, hello, all. Hello, everybody tuning in. We are on Eternal Empire for our ace match here. Oh, BlinkerBot. What is this?
Doing different stuff.
This not good, right?
Well, and I kind of wondered, I didn't say, but this is often the case for some of the bots, is once they've lost with a build, they'll abandon that build.
And switch it up.
Yeah, so that maybe learned the wrong lesson, unfortunately, from this one, because that worked and he didn't know it worked. But
Yeah, it's a great build.
Let's see what comes out, though, because we're still ultimately going to get this gateway built, the cybernetics core built, and the way that Strelok's Marines have been behaving, I wouldn't put it past them to sit there and try and shoot the Nexus for like 2 minutes.
That's true. Yeah, it could. Well, that could have two effects though. They could sit there and shoot for 2 minutes and then end up with a big ball of Marines. Thread Strelok panic at vodka air. Not enough vodka. We do that. Bots do run on alcohol. Everybody knows that. You know. Flying bunker and plant. Oh my god.
Ooh.
Remember that? What was that like? I wish I had taken a part of that. I just saw the memes of it, but
yeah, that you could pick up entire buildings and drop them. Yeah.
Somebody loaded up like 6 bunkers in a command center or something. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
It was all very good.
Flying Fortress of Doom. I do remember. I think. Oh, was it Ketroc? Somebody was saying something about proxied planetary fortresses for this season.
Oh yeah,
I think it might be Ketroc.
That does sound like a Ketroc thing.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. One adept out, but will it be enough to deal with this? At the moment, no. But there is a stalker on the high ground that's going to be able to start shredding away at this. The probe's going to buy just a couple of moments of time, but not really, as the Marines just dive into the main right now.
Yeah,
it's all going to be up to the stalker.
Was not distracted. Well, a couple of them are distracted by this, but most are in.
Okay, probes are doing an okay job. He is losing a handful of them, but they're doing a really good job at just making sure that the stalker doesn't die. That's really important. I guess if he loses all his probes, that stalker doesn't matter in the end, but...
Very true. He's down to
wasn't there one on the main?
Ground. Yeah.
I thought there was 2 stalkers, or did it come to the low ground?
Did it? I don't know. Did one die?
I thought there was one in the main and then this one on the low ground, but who knows anymore. More Marines just going to keep trickling in, so as probes keep dying, this is technically still working.
Yeah. Oh, okay. The adept died, but not the stalker.
Okay, so yeah, that's the one stalker there.
Yeah, yeah. So that's
Ooh, we saw this last game. The Marines get a little bit distracted by the buildings and don't really, their fire isn't as efficient as it could be, but the stalker, man, he is fighting for his life right now.
Yeah, he's kind of drawing fire. And again, I kind of, it wasn't as big an effect as I thought because it did get the first group, but I knew that this Nexus was going to magnet these guys in.
Yeah, so it's actually kind of helping, but only if you can keep it alive, right?
This Nexus is the best shield battery that's ever existed. It's just, it's like they can't see that the stalker is standing behind it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be interesting if that's how vision worked? Like buildings and stuff could block vision?
I'm kind of assuming too, because occasionally they do start to try and engage the stalker, and I'm wondering if it's based on weapon range. That as long as it stays on max range, they won't engage it.
Huh? Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
But he will expand here, and he did kill a lot of workers. Can't be underestimated there. He had him down to 13 at this point. At one point, he's back up to 18. Ooh. It's a good job replacing 31 dead. Yeah.
Is that worth? That's worth 23 Marines, right?
Definitely.
As far as math goes.
Now, if he had killed that Nexus after all that, oh, here comes the Marauder. It's all over.
Yeah, he is here to kick some ass. Doesn't even need Marine support. He's got this, guys. It's 2 wounded stalker, or 1 wounded stalker, and now a fresh one. If it was just the 1 stalker, I'd be like, yeah, the Marauder could do it. But no, as it is,
it's definitely dead.
He did.
Yeah, if he had killed the Nexus, then it would have halted the economic comeback, but he's going to catch up to this fairly quickly.
Best dollar ever spent. Message retracted.
Thank you
for the dollar, Jason.
Yeah. Very supportive.
All right, more stalkers warping in. Yeah, in the end, BlinkerBot with the early expansion looks like he's going to hold that 4 barracks pressure. And, you know, as it is, though, Strelok has a 3rd base on the way already. I did not even see that till just this moment. And a factory about to finish. Yeah. So like we said, Strelok has follow-up game.
Yeah, he definitely does. He's now getting concussive shell. Yeah, it was trying to tack up a lot at the end of that last game, and it never came into play. But he's kind of going to do the same thing here now. So BlinkerBot does ultimately have to put together some sort of offense. and deal with it. And I don't actually know what the BlinkerBot plan is, because we didn't see it do this build the first time.
When it's so far down on workers too, it really had to prioritize catch up. Okay, Colossus will be okay, but not really against that many if he keeps building Marauders, right?
Yeah. Tank being out is, or not, maybe not out yet, but Tank coming out. If he gets a few of those in good position, Colossus really do melt to that if they're not really controlled well. And I don't know how a bot will deal with it. But tanks are one of the more underutilized things I think that we see, but when they're used well, they're really, really powerful. But it's kind of hard to get, I think, a bot to really understand tank positioning in a good way, particularly out on the map. Like it's a very subtle thing on when to like siege move it. Like we've seen a lot of bots get stuck in like siege on siege mode every 3 seconds, and then for an entire fight, the tank doesn't do anything.
I can't believe that probe just lived. It walked directly on a mine, took a few Reaper shots, and is still really died. Targeted down. No. All right, well, a few Marauders are going to start poking in here. That Reaper distracted the whole main army. The Colossus went back up into the main here. So the Marauders are going to be able to skirmish lightly and try to deny this third here, but nope, it will go up. There's Big Daddy Colossus.
Yeah, coming in to save the day and keep this one stalker alive.
Now we've got Magfield Accelerator. I haven't seen any Cyclones in the production tab. Have you?
I have not, and he did this last time too.
There's one.
Okay, there. Okay. Is this something?
As long as you get one.
Yeah.
All right, I like this little comp here. Kind of getting one of everything here. He's got a tank, a Cyclone, a Reaper, a Raven, and a Marauder.
Yeah.
And it's working. You know, he's holding the line here.
And it is good tank position. So despite me saying it's hard, this is one of the more ideal spots for where it is.
Well, there's no range on the Colossus, I don't think, right? Or does it? No, I don't think there's any range, so we can't really engage it effectively. Actually, he's going to be able to dive on it with no support here for the tank, but still, that was looking actually kind of solid for a moment there.
Yeah, I still think he's doing well. He's got the superior economy, like, by ×2, basically. He's pretty much maxed out on SCVs he should build. He's getting 2 more bases. This is on his production here now. Will be supported by the tank in the back. The tank could essentially accidentally end up killing the Colossus here anyway. But
this is most of the production. It's the bio production, which is the support for the tanks here. Man, that's a lot of. Is that how much money is getting wasted here?
We've seen this sort of thing happen before too, unfortunately, where it's just blowing its bank on these add-ons.
Yeah, so he's going to start banking some minerals here. But, it actually was distracting enough that the Marauders and tanks are going to be able to kill off BlinkerBot's army. So it was a big cost, I guess, but...
Exactly. Was BlinkerBot baiting the cost, or was the cost baiting the army? And I think that's what ended up working out here. With a few Vikings in the air, the tanks here, probably not... Actually, kind of ironic. He blinked back into... tank fire. They were close enough to avoid it, but he went back.
Oh my. I think Strelok has done it.
Yeah.
That is impressive. I think the buildings are the real MVP in this game. First the Nexus, then the add-ons. Oh man, look at Strelok go. Yeah, if Strelok can just get to the point where he's holding the line, the economy just takes off. There's no pressure coming down on his side of the map from BlinkerBot. So this Terran is just going to be able to push through, and he's going to knock BlinkerBot down into the lower bracket. Yeah, there is just nothing that can stop these tanks.
Yeah, and I don't really know what the BlinkerBot plan was. Obviously, it got disrupted early on by the early rush, but he held that fairly well, and it just never progressed into something that looked like a plan, like a bunch of stalkers and a Colossus is not really an attacking plan. Yeah. So I don't know where it was ultimately going to go, but it didn't end up.
No range either. I found that to be interesting. So maybe it was just an oversight, or something happened in the code. Could be any number of things, but no, hey, a great series out of these two. Definitely one of our more action-packed ones. It has just been nonstop back and forth. Just a real nice tug of war between these two bots. So what a treat.
Yeah, you don't often see, particularly in the bot battles, you don't often see a plan like not work and then still recover from it.
Yeah.
Like usually if you're invested in an early rush and it doesn't really work, then that's kind of it. But obviously Strelok here has the backup plans, was able to tech up, and of course did a lot of economic damage. So when I say didn't work, I mean didn't win. But by any human versus human standard, that worked incredibly well. If you said you're going to kill 31 probes, that's great.
Oh yeah, with 20-something Marines, yeah. If I was a Terran player, I'd be all about that.
Yeah.
So as it is though, very nice and back and forth. But yeah, Strelok has got the chokehold on BlinkerBot right now, and it's just a matter of time until these trickling stalkers kind of get cleaned up. Even a Cloak Banshee killing off workers in the main. So yeah, this is all but over. What a good fight though.
Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, pretty good. Defying expectations. I think, again, BlinkerBot changing the build order here ultimately, I think, hurt him.
Yeah. Well, it worked out initially, but just not enough of a quick enough follow-up.
Yeah, it held, but it wasn't a shutdown. Like, again, he lost so much economy doing that I think then whatever the plan was, he didn't have the legs to get to it.
Well, and I do think that Strelok is just quicker on the economy too. By the time BlinkerBot was getting his third, Strelok was already getting his fifth or sixth. For sure. Strelok was just all about taking over the map, getting that economy up. BlinkerBot, it was just a little bit too passive, and maybe it was just due to all that damage it took early on. But either way, good stuff.
Yeah, because he was clearly, like you can see in the base here, going up to the Stargate, but he had only made like that one Colossus, so it's a bit of a waste to transition that way.
Yeah.
How much of an investment that is. But he's kind of got like the one of everything going here, like the Robo facility, the Robo Bay, the Twilight Council, and the Stargate. That's a lot of money given that you lost 30-something probes.
Well, and did he even make a Void Ray?
No, I don't think he made anything of it.
That was just wasted, in the end. But GG. All right, good job, Strelok. Again, we'll be moving on in the upper bracket to go up against TheHarvester, who we just had win our last series, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's going to be a good one. And then BlinkerBot will get knocked down into that lower bracket. So we'll be taking a look at all that. And, of course, make sure you stick around here. We're going to talk about our post-bot show in just a moment before we go to break. But, well done. Some awesome games tonight. Great best of threes. And that one will finally wrap up after 15 minutes exactly. Yeah. Nicely done. So, good stuff. Good stuff. Let's go ahead. Can we take a look at our bracket before we talk about our little post-bot show and then go to break here? Kind of see what matches we got coming up after the break and stuff. So, we've had Harvester, MadAI, BlinkerBot, Strelok all played tonight. Coming up, we've still got MicroMachine, ANIbot, Ketroc, and Sproutch. Who are you favoring in our second little part here?
So there's an unknown on Sproutch, but I've always got to favor MicroMachine, and I think ANIbot even specifically calls out MicroMachine as a weakness. Mm-hmm. But ANIbot does some interesting stuff. So sometimes things can work, but MicroMachine, that's one of the ones I'm always most eager to see what those two have come up with, the two lovely French-Canadian authors over the break. They've always added something interesting, and so my money's always on that one, but ANIbot's just a lot of fun. And without knowing really anything about Sproutch and knowing some of the improvements that Ketroc has made, I've got to pick Ketroc for that.
Yeah, Ketroc, definitely a little more experience. Obviously, he was around last season and has been on the show. He's been a host here too, so we've kind of been able to talk to him about it. Yeah. And he builds a very good bot. So I'm very excited to see what Sproutch can do against it, especially with how defensive I've seen Ketroc become. It's going to be hard to break with, as Sproutch talks about, little attacks here and there and stuff. Yeah. So we'll see how that works out. But if you want to get some exclusive behind the scenes content of ProBots, you can check out our Crown Club. You can get access to PostBots. It's a little talk show we do after the stream, after each day of games, where we just kind of talk about what happened, what we saw, what we liked, predictions, things like that. And hopefully, if we can maybe get some bot authors on that show, that'd be cool too. Hopefully Drek is taking notes for me. But Good.
So here comes the cool little, I like the addition of this Reaper. It just distracted a lot.
Oh,
so
pull the Colossus all the way back.
Pull all this all over the place while he was getting some damage done up front. So here comes the first tank fire. The Cyclone here pulling some fire is great. Like, it felt like these top units were intentionally baiting into the tank. And maybe that is exactly what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But it really felt like that was their mission. Here comes the rapid add-on rebuilds.
Hey, it worked. It distracted.
Yeah, look at like Strelok's money.
You can't even count how many times it happened.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Good times. But all this while, the tank in the back raining that fire down. And we were like a frame away from seeing the Colossus die. But yeah, that's super effective. Tanks are just, once people get to the point that they've mastered tanks, and I'm almost surprised that we're not there yet, but they're probably the most effective bot versus bot thing, or they have the potential to be, because like the Tempest, where it can be such range, a siege tank is such range, and none of the bots will ever die for it. So it will just be there.
We've got a couple bots using tanks now, so I know Ketroc is working in and stuff. So we'll see him evolve. I'd love to see the slow tank crawl and just push all the way slowly across the map.
Yeah,
and just an impenetrable wall of tanks. That'd be great. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a quick little break. We do have those two more best of threes you just saw on the screen. MicroMachine, ANIbot, Ketroc, and Sproutch will be going up against each other. Again, make sure you check out our forum. All the links in the description below. And if you haven't yet already, I know we've got some new viewers joining us. Make sure you hit the little thumbs up button to get us some exposure on YouTube. It goes a long way to help us out. That I believe is it. We'll talk about everything else. Let's do one more Crown Club member shout out before we go to break. Right now.
Mr. MicroMachine himself. So
one of the co-authors of MicroMachine. I believe that's our only team bot author, right? You guys working on that?
From this season, yeah, we've had that in the past, but I think they're the only one that's a team this season that I'm aware of. Yeah.
Which is totally allowed. But yeah, definitely check out as well the AI Arena. That is where all these bots have come from. They had their second season, I believe, was that what qualified for this? Something like that. They just recently this year, really kicked it into gear. So definitely go check that out if you want to get a bot onto that ladder and then qualify for ProBots. We highly encourage it. We've had a lot of new authors each season kind of making it in, so it's really cool to see that. And there again is the bot template in the links in the description below where you can get started. I believe it's a Terran bot, right? It builds Marines and something like that. Anyway, it should be fun. We're going to go to a quick little break. Make sure you stick around. We've got two more best of threes, as well as our post-bot show afterwards, but you won't see that, I guess. Anyway, we'll be back. Thank you for tuning in to day 2 of season 3 here on ESChamp's ProBots. Welcome back, everybody, to ProBots. We are here on day 2 of season 3 of 2020 on ESChamp, the best new channel on YouTube. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you to all our new subscribers and Crown Club members and everybody else, bot authors, viewers alike. It's great to have you all here. We've got an exciting set of games. We've already had 2 best of 3s, and we've got 2 more before we finish up tonight. We've got ANIbot versus MicroMachine coming up, and then Ketroc versus Sproutch to finish things off. It's going to be awesome. We've had some great games so far tonight. I have no doubt that the rest of the show will have awesome games as well. What was your prediction again, Endersword? You were feeling Ketroc's going to take this one, right?
I got to feel that Ketroc would take the Sproutch match, and that MicroMachine would take the ANIbot match.
Yep.
That would be my thinking.
I'm kind of inclined to think the same way, so we'll kind of see how that pans out. We will have that loaded up in just a moment. Again, if you're just joining us, we do have some awesome behind-the-scenes content called PostBots. You saw a little bit of it if you were hanging out during the break, where we just kind of talk about the day's games, maybe get a bot author to join us. Ketroc has been joining us recently, both host and bot author here on ESChamp. So yeah, definitely check that out if you like behind the scenes extra content. And it also goes a long way to help support ESChamp and future seasons of ProBots, which this has been getting better and better every year. So I have no doubt that next year we're going to do another 3 seasons and get some even more bot authors in here. It's been great. And maybe a live event. We'll see. Maybe. I'm not hopeful personally, but
yeah. So what we're gonna need is for a bunch of you to code bots, but one of you has to make a vaccine. and then we can go back to live
put your talents to other endeavors for now.
We're gonna have to get some of the bars that were esports bars that closed during this to reopen, so someone has to do that too. It's gonna be a big project, but we'll get there.
You've got a new one opening up around you, don't you? Did I see something in the Discord? You guys were talking about some new place opening up. Wave Gaming, I've been told. Okay, so yeah, no, and that's the thing. Some places go down, new ones pop up. It's like a forest fire, it's the way things are. Trees it's like a forest fire. Trees burn down, new trees grow. That's just how it works.
I mean, yes, but that takes like 50 years.
Yeah, I didn't say it was a quick process. It's an analogy, Endersword, not a perfect comparison. Okay. 30 seconds is all we got to buy. I am so excited for these next games coming up. We've had some very talented authors tonight. We've got talented authors all the way through. These were the top 12 bots. The top 4 from last season all got invited, and then the top 12 from the AI Arena ladder were invited to participate. So again, go check out AI Arena. It's awesome bot authors. They've got a really cool Discord. Yep.
Have you ever noticed all really good authors have RR in their name?
Do they?
We got George R.R. Martin, and we got Ralph R.R. MicroMachine.
What other authors do you need? Let's go ahead and hop into our next.
I'm going to give him an extra J.R.R. Tolkien.
Oh, geez, you're right. Holy crap, there, Arthur. Putting them up there with the greats. Let's hop into game number 1 of our best of 3 here. I believe it's MicroMachine versus ANIbot here on ESChamp.
Raph RR and Unusuals. MicroMachine.
Is this right? Yeah. It's definitely.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Should we just do them in reverse order? Nope, we're not. We're going to flip it back. All right, well, now we know Ketroc's strategy for game 1. We'll talk about that after this best of 3 that we're actually going to watch. Man, we're just burning through production, guys. We can't hire them quick enough. We keep firing them and hiring. We just can't keep up.
I know.
One day.
We've got a whole list of production crew in different Eastern European countries. And we're not, I don't know. Romania, I think, is next.
No, I think we should do, while we get that game loaded, let's do a shout out for our production crew. Of course, Laddie, Petzor, and Drexama in the background, keeping things running here. You don't always get to see their faces, but you do get to hear them if you check out our Postbot show on in the Crown Club. You got to join the Crown Club for that. But yeah, it's going to be fun. We got our real game loading up about 30 seconds, and that will actually be happening.
Yeah. Are we good? Okay.
So we've seen most of the bots, and we obviously know MicroMachine's a beast. Ketroc's getting up there to that level.
Yeah.
Which of these bots are you most afraid to battle in the humans versus bots?
I think it always, so it always has been MicroMachine. I think that's always kind of been one of the tougher
kind of the
ones.
top dog, yeah.
Yeah, just because it throws so much at you over a long period of time. The Ketroc bot could hit that point. And I haven't played it, but given that it uses weird stuff, I think if it got into the Mass Raven, Mass Banshee, independently controlling 20 Banshee sort of thing, I could think it could hit that point.
Let's go and run the game while we continue talking about our predictions. Ladies and gentlemen, our actual game.
and unusuals. MicroMachine. TheHarvester. ANIbot.
Thank you for the graphic, by the way, ANIbot. I've noticed a lack of bot graphics tonight.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, bot authors. If you need help with the graphics, send me a PM on Discord, and I will personally help you. Because I do graphic design work stuff. Amateur graphic design work. But I'll do it for free. So, anyway, ANIbot has a 1% chance. How's that look for you, Enderser? You think ANIbot can do it?
I mean, yeah, it responded so perfectly to that comment.
ANIbot knows what's up.
That, I mean, yeah, how can you argue with that? Like, clearly it's got the counters, at least verbally. Did you ever play, like, the, they did it in the multiple, but, like, the original Monkey Island game?
Oh, no, I never, I've been meaning to pick it up. I keep seeing it on sale on Steam all the time, but
it's worth
I've heard it's great, yeah.
Yeah, thing. But it's got sword fighting in the game, but you win by insulting countering your opponent's insult.
It's like what's the vicious mockery duel?
Yeah, basically it's that. So like one of them, like you fight like a farmer. Well, that's good because you fight like a cow or something like that. Like it's all dumb stuff.
I should check that out. Now I've been meaning to get that one. I just keep forgetting about it.
It's fun. Yeah,
I've heard great things about it. So, well, let's see if Annie has any more snappy What?
Well, there you go.
Vicious mockery, critical hit. ANIbot takes the win. I don't know what she said, but MicroMachine did not like it.
That's the 1%.
That was the 1% chance. It happens. There we go. Yep, let's just quit StarCraft. We're done. We're done here. Ladies and gentlemen, ANIbot has taken game 1 against MicroMachine.
Wow. So
it looks like they knew it was coming in chat.
Yeah.
They knew. Okay, well.
Okay, we'll have to ask why that is. What did you see? Yeah. Okay.
I didn't know.
You didn't know.
I didn't know. I don't know. I don't know anything here.
Okay.
Oh no, I do remember they were talking that MicroMachine might crash.
Yeah.
I saw something in it briefly, but I'm being told something with the bunker mining. Oh, the cool little bunker mine thing he does. Oh, bummer. All right, well. Gives ANIbot a nice shot. Do you think MicroMachine is going to get knocked down into the lower bracket 2 seasons in a row? Wait, that happened last season too, right?
It crashed last season. I remember that, but it was a mule, or did it turn out to be that? I think they said that they thought it was a mule thing.
Yeah, it was something totally unrelated to whatever we thought it was.
Yeah, exactly. But I forget which was the right answer. But yeah, there you go.
Well, and that's unfortunately the more complicated the bot gets, the easier, at least the way I view it, it's there's just more chances. Not easier, I guess. There's just more chances for errors. So, and that's the 1% chance we saw here. That's an unfortunate way to go. But let's hopefully game number 2 will not go that way. He found the crash a few days after the due date. Oh, that is unfortunate.
Happens.
That does indeed happen. But that's why we're doing double elimination now. I really like this format. I think it works out well for instances like that where it's like, okay, man, you had a really bad week, but you can still fix it up and have a comeback and, maybe make something happen from there. So it's not the end of the world, but it definitely puts MicroMachine. Well, I'd almost argue it puts MicroMachine in a better spot, right? Because MicroMachine's going to crush the noobs down in the lower bracket, right?
Weaker opponents, but it's going to eventually fight them.
Yeah,
fight the better ones anyway. So I don't know that it's better.
Well, I mean, snap! What we've got isn't Tier in the lower bracket, and
Tier already.
Yeah, so there's already some beasts in the lower bracket already. So yeah, maybe it won't be that easy of a of a fight. Anyway. Game number 2 will be loaded up in just a moment between these bots. Let's see what snappy comebacks ANIbot has. ANIbot always quick with the wit. That's what I love about her. Is there a gender for ANIbot? I guess we should ask Velos in the chat.
I don't know. The graphic looks like the graphic looks a little like a big brother from BioShock or something.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, let's take a look at it. Game number 2 right here, right now.
bizarre and unusuals. MicroMachine.
Strategy Ghost.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
I like that they both said these strategies.
Sabe
as if they're a
losses.
thing.
ANIbot.
Proxy Cyclone Ghost. Oh, those standard builds.
Very standard.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
especially in TVT, it's weird to go Ghost in TVT, I think. It's definitely an odd choice. We'll see how it works out, though. MicroMachine not counting the last game as a loss. Important to take note of.
yeah, and its record apparently with Proxy Cyclones 595-3.
Jeez.
So that's not even a 1% chance.
What is that? Here, let me get my calculator.
Just
What was it?
just over 0.5%, right?
What was it? 595?
95-3.
Yeah, just barely over 0.5% of a chance. So you have 0.5% of a chance, ANIbot.
But did that include the possibility to crash?
Yeah, no, I don't think that's ever included into the metrics here. But just
And
the fact that it is a different build out of MicroMachine, I think we're okay, right?
I think so. Yeah. No mining, bunker mining. Yeah. So he's going to be okay. Yeah. I think it's map specific. So.
Oh, it's map specific. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Whew. Well, very interesting start. Kind of gives ANIbot a little bit of a handicap here, which, again, we've talked about how strong MicroMachine is a lot. It could help. It could be the make or break. Even if ANIbot loses, gives it one more chance. So we'll see if ANIbot can hold off the Cyclones with Ghosts.
Wow.
Never thought I'd be saying that.
ANIbot detected something.
Oh.
What you up to?
ANIbot knows.
Is his first thought going to be Proxy Cyclones? It should be, given that apparently he's faced it 600 times. But will it be?
Yeah, will it remember the 700th time? Cancel offensive. Okay, so he's
cancel.
pulling the Reaper back. Yeah, we see that a lot in then relaunch offensive.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of see how this pans out. All right, so it's going to be a little calm here. The Reaper's just going to poke and fly around. Nice little, I like how he built the add-on with the barracks, so it's ready to go when the factory is done. It just allows you to get out that Cyclone a whole lot quicker. So a nice little touch there added in. But as it is, ANIbot's going to sit on one base, which against a one base kind of proxy, that's not a bad way to go.
May indeed be the thing to do. Now, the Reaper staying alive is going to help Cyclones when they come out. When they come out to ultimately get like a lock on the high ground, and this barracks actually is going to help too. This is a clever part of it. And MicroMachine's been using kind of the floating barracks as part of it for at least a couple seasons now, probably like 2 or 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a nice addition.
For ANIbot?
For MicroMachine.
Oh, for MicroMachine.
Using the barracks to scout.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
help with the Cyclone locks.
Oh, that is nice. Yeah, these bots definitely been updated since last season. We'll get, as the season goes on, to future updates, hopefully, out of you bot authors. Always nice to have those to kind of talk about. But ANIbot does now have it's not a full working system, but it now has kind of a memory for what enemy units are out, and it's using a map analyzer. So it's really trying to kind of up its game knowledge. What's going on, what's the current state of the game, how should I move on from there. So it's a nice little touch there.
Exactly.
Is that machine learning, or is that what is that exactly? The memory part where it's able to remember better. Yeah.
It would just be kind of storing
more of a database thing.
Yeah, more of a database or kind of
nice pick off. Gets the Cyclone.
Yeah, pretty good.
MicroMachine, what you doing? Getting a little too greedy.
And yeah, memory really is a really hard thing with things like this. It's just they kind of act based on what they see. And if they can't see something, it is really hard to deal with that, because especially since it can be very difficult to detect the difference between killing something and it just leaving.
Yeah.
So it is a tough problem. Like it's something that even, again, AlphaStar and the Google team struggled with, is getting it to remember that stuff is at the top of a ramp and so on.
Yeah, even our best bots have trouble with that from time to time. Yeah, MicroMachine really liking the Cyclone play. I like it. Now he's moving into Banshees as well.
Yeah, they're in chat mentioning, so Annie stores enemy unit data in short memory.
Okay.
So it keeps in mind what it has recently saw. I don't know how long short is.
Yeah, maybe like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Yeah, who knows?
Probably something tells me even shorter, but it's probably like 30 seconds to make sure you don't go back up a ramp or something. I don't know.
Yeah, something like
that. So here comes, of course, the Cloak Banshee, a staple part of the MicroMachine diet.
Oh man, yeah, his Banshees are so good. No turrets whatsoever out of ANIbot. You know, usually we see a good amount of turrets against MicroMachine. Just people are ready to deal with it, but so a little unfortunate that's not worked in at all. Yeah, no, there's not a scan available. The mule's been called down. ANIbot's stuck on one base a little bit as well, while MicroMachine back at home is getting that natural up and running. So the economy is just about to be booming. And yeah, once MicroMachine gets a hold on the game, it's really hard to get control back from MicroMachine. So
very difficult to turn it around, though.
Yeah,
one thing that can work, if he does get detection back, you can accumulate enough Widow Mines that it becomes really obnoxious. But they have to be able to see something, obviously. And
these Banshees are just toying with the Widow Mines right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the repair though.
That's going to help. If they can spiral, but he needs some form of detection, or else it's kind of a moot point.
Oh, he gets a shot. All right. You know, you would not shoot an unarmed mine.
Yeah. At first, I thought that scam was the other way around. Okay, here comes the Raven. This helps, but it might be too late now.
Yeah, it's definitely going to help a little bit, but no, the Banshees are doing so good at just staying right outside of that mine's range. I'm honestly surprised that even that one Banshee took a hit from it. So
his forces in reserve are enough to end this.
Oh yeah, no, the ANIbot has been pretty much crippled. Jen knows it. Yeah, just got cut off at the kneecaps there.
Those are contradictory. Don't you hate it when someone stays in the match after GG?
ANIbot throwing out the BMGG. Maybe ANIbot knows something we don't. That is a lot of Cyclones. The Marauders are going to get locked onto. The tank will get a couple shots off, actually. Yeah, there's just nothing here to help, though. There's no healing for the Marauders. There's pretty much no economy. 2 workers left for ANIbot. So it was a great start. I really thought ANIbot maybe with the Marine ball could do a little something, but they just kind of got picked away at. Those Banshees just came in and slaughtered everything. One turret would have pushed that away.
Yeah, even a safe
maybe like 2 or 3 turrets.
Yeah, something.
Yeah. Was there even an engineering bay out for ANIbot?
I don't know that there was.
I don't think there was even.
There was a starport. Had he gotten like a Raven, maybe? But yeah.
Well, there's your daily dose of Cyclone seizure for the day.
I love now we've gone from GG to floating command center.
Look at MicroMachine's hiding the Viking in the command center.
Nice.
See, now shouldn't that block the command center from landing if a Viking is flying under it?
It should. Doesn't work that way.
Interesting. GG. Well, I missed what he said there. Looks like MicroMachine knew something. Looks like he lost all your forces or something.
Sounds right.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, doesn't it say you've lost your main?
Oh yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that. Anyway, GG indeed. We've got ourselves another ace match. Got here in a little bit of a dirty fashion, but we'll see how it pans out. Again, ANIbot has beaten MicroMachine. You know, we saw the stats there. It is doable. Yes. So it's just a very hard battle. Obviously, got to get something to deal with those Banshees, I think is the key factor here.
Yeah, definitely.
So
now, in terms of the third game, if you tell me we'll go to the replay.
Yes, go to the replay. What about the third game? Tell us more about. I was
going to say, if you can tell me the map, I'll give you a prediction.
Oh, yeah. So if it's 2 geysers next to each other, MicroMachine's going to crash, and we'll have a very quick game number 3. Oh, let's see here. As we take a look at our replays, yeah, I really like the proxies that our Terrans are starting to do this season. It's just kind of a good opener, and it's not a huge commitment. As you can see, MicroMachine has the base back at home, has production back at home. He's got the starport cranking out some Banshees. So this is just meant to get those Cyclones right there into the fight early on and try to slow down what ANIbot's doing. It's nice.
Yeah, he did a good job holding that. Obviously, the Cyclones clearly were not the problem in that game. He didn't really even lose very much to that.
Yeah,
at all.
they didn't do a whole lot, but it pokes. It's harassment.
It delays. Yeah, exactly. It puts you on the back foot. And the entire thing MicroMachine is trying to do is to put you on the back foot for the next punch. And if the first punch wins, great. But if not, there's Cloak Banshees coming. And then if the Cloak Banshees don't kill you but hold you, there's Battle Cruisers coming. So it's whatever.
Yes, indeed. Whatever, indeed. I like this little additional info for MicroMachine as well. MicroMachine, probably our most winning bot, has won 5 tournaments so far. So even if it doesn't win the grand final, it will always be a champion. I guess that's true. What is? I guess I don't know off the top of my head. Who's? It's MicroMachine, right? Is our most winning bot?
I would think so. Yeah.
I'd have to go back and look.
Has anyone else won too?
I know we've had a few bots win a couple. Yeah, tier one or two. Yeah, total overall wins. We think it's
number one.
Machine, but
yeah, I think it's definitely number one. But yeah, I don't know who the next. Like, there were always 3 or 4 that tended to consistently be in the top 4, and like Tier's one of those. But I don't remember.
Sharpened Edge was up there for a while.
Yeah.
A few of them. Yes, good question in the chat there. How many of the bots are C++? Just the one. I'm sure there's some more on the ladder. There's got to be more on the ladder that are, but as far as in ProBots, just the one.
Yeah, I think there's C# bots too, though. I think there might be 1 or 2 C#.
Yes, there are C# bots, which is slightly different from C++, if I'm not mistaken.
It's 4 pluses, just arranged differently.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you're right. Weird. Anyway, we've got game number 3, our ace match, loading up here in just a second. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to day 2 of ProBots. Let's go ahead and hop into our last match between MicroMachine and ANIbot right now.
Check out that camera.
RR and Unusuals. MicroMachine. Sabe losses. ANIbot.
It's probably my favorite graphic so far.
Yeah, I agree. I've always liked MicroMachines too, because it confuses me. For the longest time, I thought it's the bot with like its head turned, but I always thought it was like its long nose. I think it's
I see.
It's from like a Hearthstone card or something, I think, right?
Yeah, some Blizzard thing.
So yeah, but I thought that was its nose and the whatever. But yeah, it's a weird head that's turned.
Anyway, bot authors, make sure you get your bot images submitted so we can have awesome representations for your bot instead of our little representation's cute, the generic one, but
yeah,
it's nice to have your own.
There was a thing I saw once that was, I forget if it's like a subreddit or something, but it was like misinterpreted 8-bit graphics. And it was like, there were certain 8-bit graphics back in the day that you saw, and you always thought it was like, that's a ghost holding a stick or something. And it's nothing like that. Like, what it was supposed to be is like a guy with a white hat with a fishing rod, or I don't know, something. Like, where it's totally different, but they kind of like show the most misinterpreted graphics, and then they show you how it's supposed to look, and it's like, oh, okay. I forget.
How do you feel about this proxy location?
It's not very proxy-y.
It's like halfway proxy.
Yeah, it's somewhere. It's enough to be confusing, and sometimes that's the case too. is it doesn't need to be close. It just needs to be unscouted.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the case here too. It's not like you're hitting. That's not happening. So it's
no. What about the Marines just in the last series? With the one Marine left standing.
It was not trying to do that, but
maybe it was. You don't. No, it wasn't.
Yeah. But
sometimes it just happens. Sometimes it's a matter of seconds, just because.
Yeah. So let's see if it. I don't know. Can hold this. It's expanding, and we're gonna get our first little Reaper out. And the old scouting. Actually, this is one part that it does slow down a bit for. Is the barracks floating in was pretty on time for when the cyclone showed up last time. It's going to be slower.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Reaper's doing a good job just poking. Got a Marine. He's going to be able to get a second here, or a third even. I think that's 3.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, every little bit helps. And he's denying the scout. That's, ANIbot does rely on some scouting information. Last game we noticed that there was no buildings in the main. He's like, wait a second, where's your barracks? Oh, the SCVs aren't going to do a whole lot to save themselves, though. That's unfortunate. 2 go down. Oh, geez. This one Reaper is wreaking a lot of havoc right now.
Yeah, definitely doing some damage. Oh, and putting them over here.
No army? There's no army out.
The SCVs were trying to escape and walk directly into, cyclone range. So the cyclone that in the first game was just kind of poking at depots is now just killing off the worker line.
Yeah, I think this is just over. Finally a Reaper's producing, but there's just nothing to stop anything.
Yeah, he went for the expansion. Did not. He put up this deeper wall, which is clearly to stop the Ling flood, but it didn't really
work this time, or it stopped the Adepts shading in too.
But it basically just locked the SCVs inside. That's what it did.
ANIbot knows it. Oh, unfortunate way to go out on a game 3 here.
Yeah.
Just kind of got broadsided by the Cyclone and Reaper there. So ANIbot will get knocked down into our lower bracket to go up against. Who's he? We don't know. It's going to be either Ketroc or Sproutch. Yeah. So we don't know exactly yet. Either way, MicroMachine, well done. Your prediction came true. MicroMachine was able to pull the win.
Nice.
Fun fact, too, about MicroMachine. In case you weren't aware, MicroMachine is actually downloadable. The authors kind of like it as a challenge. So, you can prepare against their bot, and they can see, what their weaknesses are against the things you prepared. So they really like that. And you can also play against it yourself locally. If you want to try your hand, we've had in the past few seasons, the humans versus bot show match. Yeah. We go up. MicroMachine's always kind of the last, the top dog bot that we go up against. So definitely check that out. I believe somebody, either if it's not below, somebody will post the link or something, but it's somewhere. You'll find it. Join our Discord. Ask where it is. We'll find it for you. Anyway, that is it for that series. We've got one more best of 3 tonight to decide who will stay up in the upper bracket and who will get knocked down to face ANIbot. Will it be Ketroc or will it be Sproutch? Now, this is a TVT, correct?
I believe so.
Yep.
Yeah, again, we haven't seen Sproutch
No,
yet.
TVZ. I'm sorry. Sproutch is Zerg. I'm sorry. Yeah. That seems wrong.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we haven't seen TVZ yet tonight. So.
Yeah, and always fun to see a new bot. It's great that we still have new entries coming into this. Ketroc, even still a fairly new bot. Sproutch,
season 2.
So, yeah, pretty cool to always see the new entrants, and not having seen Sproutch, definitely eager for it. Here's a replay. So
yes,
this is a replay of the no opposition strategy that ANIbot was using.
Yes, it's very important we watch ANIbot get absolutely demolished one more time.
Have you ever seen a clip of that? I think it was the Indianapolis Colts or somebody. They moved their entire offensive line to the bottom of the field, but left the quarterback in the center in the middle, and they were sacked immediately. That was what ANIbot was just trying, but it didn't work.
Got absolutely demolished. Yeah, MicroMachine always a top competitor. Just has so many things under its belt as well. It really can do a number of things and can really get into that late game. Has great recovery mechanics. So yeah, it's going to be one to keep our eye on for sure as the bracket commences. And here we go. There's our lower bracket. So we've got one more name we're going to add to that tonight. That'll go up against ANIbot. It'll be either Ketroc or Sproutch. And then, of course, we've got our upper bracket. So this is where we're going to be starting off next week, I believe. So we'll be doing Spiny and GenCbot next week, and Sharpie versus BenBot, and Harvester Strelok, and then MicroMachine versus either Ketroc or Sproutch. So, yeah, this last game here is going to decide quite a bit here. And, yeah, I'm excited for next week. Next week, week 3, we will be diving into that upper bracket, some of our most exciting games, I think. Yeah. You know, some of my favorite bots are up there. So
definitely, and some surprises up there too. Like
and some surprises,
both Sharpie PvP Easy and BenBot BC. Basically, I think the consensus opinion would have been the other way, that Tyr and Fidelina would have won those matches. I mean, not overwhelmingly, but yeah, the fact that Tyr and Fidelina are both in the lower bracket is probably a surprise.
Now, Fidelina was number 1 on the AI Arena ladder, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So that's how it got their spot in the bracket here. So yeah, definitely a surprise. A lot of talk, a lot of hype about Fidelina. So I am very excited to see some of those matches as well in a couple weeks. Yeah, man, this is a great season. Some top bots going at it. What more could we ask for? Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our last best of 3 of the night here on day 2 of ESChamp's ProBots. Joining me is Endersword. I am Andy Man. And let's go ahead and hop into game number 1 right now.
Let's do it. It's a frame.
Ketroc. Giraffe Santes. Sproutch.
Well, Sproutch gave us a little info. Yeah, I was going to say the icon matches the info we got. There was one bot we got 0 info on, but no. So yeah, I guess let's kind of talk about Sproutch. He's the real new guy here. Ketroc's been around a couple seasons. We kind of know what Ketroc's about, but Sproutch, brand new Zerg, done in Python. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see how Sproutch can do. Sproutch was I looked it up earlier. Did pretty well on the ladder. It was I'm trying to remember, like around number 10 or something. I'd have to look at the.
Sounds about right. All right. So we got a preview of this earlier, but yes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, well, we'll see how well Sproutch can deal with Banshees. Let's see. So the special traits of Sproutch, we kind of looked at earlier, likes to continuously harass and deny expansion. So he's really going to try to slow down what Ketroc is doing. So we might kind of see, I'm trying to think of a similar style, kind of like Kagamine or something, where, it's just poking and expanding behind it, trying to, get up to 4 bases, 5 bases, something like that. I'm thinking that's what Sproutch is going to try to do, is get up into a more macro-oriented, longer game, especially against Ketroc. I think that's a good choice because it's hard to break Ketroc once the defenses start coming up.
Yeah, exactly. He's already opening it in an interesting way. So it went for the CC first, barracks, and then the engineering bay, which you wouldn't typically think of as a prelude to Mass Banshee. But I guess it needs to be a bit on the particularly against Zerg too, because what's that for? At least early in the game, right? Because they obviously can't really do anything that's gonna prey on that for any time soon. But he does have it, so it does kind of imply then that it's going to be still some bio with upgrades.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Well, I am excited to see if Sproutch can break what Ketroc is claiming to be indestructible expansion bases. Now, I saw a little sneak peek of it on the AI Arena ladder, which is going 24/7, by the way, the AI Arena stream. You can all check that out on Twitch. It's kind of a fun little place. You can see a lot of these bots going at it, all the other bots that are on the ladder, kind of fighting for their top spots there. But Ketroc just has the defense. He's really getting the defense on lockdown. And if you take bad engagements into planetary fortresses over and over, you're just not going to win the game. So
yeah,
we'll see what Sproutch can do.
Sproutch, of course, going for the defensive here himself. 3 spines right up front, and then going for Ling speed behind that. And here comes the starport, which we knew was eventually inevitable.
Fun fact: Sproutch has beaten every bot except for MicroMachine.
Ooh.
Has beaten every bot, so that means he's probably got a few wins against Ketroc on the ladder there. So
seems so.
Yeah,
I mean, we kind of see the microcosm or bring a few matches to light, but of course on these ladders they play hundreds a lot of.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So many games. Oh, I wish I had time for that many games. Wouldn't that be nice? If you could slow down real time and just play extra StarCraft.
Exactly.
That would be great. All right, so yeah, more starports coming out. Ketroc sitting on 2 bases. Sproutch went very defensive. I wonder if, maybe saw something coming in, or if this is just kind of normal behavior. Spore crawlers coming, 4 of them coming down, 2 in each base. A wall of spine crawlers at the front to defend, any kind of attack. I could see this build being really good against MicroMachine, which is interesting that Sproutch has never beat MicroMachine. With all the spores there, we'll defend against the Banshees. The spines are going to do a great job, especially in this map, at kind of keeping the Reapers out and just a lot of the things MicroMachine likes to do. But Ketroc's just going to chill at home, just going to macro up.
Yeah, he's just going. Very often, like kind of when you say mass Banshee, it leads to a more high economy version of it. Lings are coming across here now. Let's see if they have any success coming into the planetary, and no is the answer.
Shocker! They did not. They did not. All right, so we're getting a little taste here. The indestructible planetary fortress expansion is being equipped. So I'm imagining if it's part of his normal build for every game, we're going to see some liberators and tanks, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see kind of how that pans out. The factory's just kind of floating right now, so we'll see if that lands and does anything anytime soon.
Yeah, I kind of got up for the starport and never
got back down.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, when you're going mass Banshee, it's more important to have the starport down than the factory. So
for sure.
There we go. Cloak's about to finish up. First Banshees are, I guess they're just still at home on the defense. So I wonder if he's waiting for a certain number to push out. Now that Cloak is done, maybe they'll start making their way across. Does he have? Oh no, he's got the first 2 finishing right now.
He's getting Rotor as well. He may even wait for that, but
yeah, maybe.
And just kind of surprise them all at once.
Oh, he got Vikings. I thought he had Banshees out already. He had Vikings.
Yeah, a couple of. He went after the Overlord.
Gotcha.
Space. So a bigger flood coming in here, but still not really going to accomplish there.
Yeah, there's just with the repair, there's no amount of Lings that, unless they're upgraded, there's no amount of 0/0 Lings that are going to be able to tear down the planet.
You have to go after. You could eventually flood to kill the SCVs themselves.
Yeah, you could whittle it down, but in the initial engagement, you could get a full wraparound, and I still don't think you're going to. Yeah. All right, well, third base, Ketroc has begun expanding, and we'll start taking over the bottom right side of the map. Meanwhile, Sproutch is getting a third. I think the third's actually, is just finished. So Spire coming down. I wonder if maybe Mutas is the answer against Mass Banshee.
It's certainly a really plausible one. Like Muta's controlled well, obviously can chase those down, and they just do hit and run tactics against the bases. The planetary part doesn't really matter to a Muta. The turrets are in place, but there's just kind of one. So
one turret can do a lot against a small flock of Mutas, though, especially with repair.
Small flock, yes. So we need more.
Sproutch is kind of losing some units, but I gotta say the pullbacks have been very smart. It's like he keeps forgetting, unfortunately, that it's a planetary and you're not going to be able to break it with those Lings. But the idea is there, continually harass, keep pressure on, pull back if it's not working, which identifies pretty quickly that it's not going to work. So that's good. I like it.
Infestation Pit coming here as well.
Ooh, that's nice.
It's nice. Yeah, I'll see where that goes. Double Armory coming down at the same time for Ketroc, and the
heavy
Air Force here is moving on out, as is the 4th CC. And the Lings are coming to respond to the Banshees, of course.
Of course.
but the mutas with it as well. 2 Vikings there. Are they going to want to jump on that? They probably could.
They're a little tentative about it. Yeah, they're kind of scared.
You're maybe not confident in numbers. They would win that, but it is kind of a attrition sort of thing.
Yeah, I almost think it would be better to just go for the workers instead of the planetaries. Even just build some Banes. Ketroc's base is very exposed. Yeah, while it can hold for a long time, a little flood of Banes to go in and kill some workers would be just phenomenal, I think, right there. But
picking off here, unfortunately, by doing this stance on the outside, he's going to lose like a meter or two to the Vikings when he doesn't really have to. But
here we go.
It's accompanying this. It works out really well.
It's doing what it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
denying
exactly.
the bases, stopping Ketroc from expanding. That's kind of its main goal.
And now it's the Vikings that are actually being the tentative ones, staying back from the mutas. And in this case, I think they should attack. And here it takes, this is a key too. If you could split your forces, a small group of mutas just trailing around. Yeah.
Sproutch.
To get them. Yeah.
I figured it was said some kind of like that.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did the intros. Okay. I think it reflects it well. Oh man, where's the overseer? Endersword?
Around.
Yeah. Somewhere.
They were there. Yeah. But I like this. I like that groups are operating independently, and that's something that we don't see nearly enough of.
Yeah.
Yeah, here, and he's able to pick off one of the Vikings and then go after the Banshee that was uncloaked.
Yeah, we only really see the individual unit control out of my brain just stopped. GenCbot. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely something that's coming in.
It doesn't want to attack this position. That's too much for too few mutas.
Oh, the mutas are taking hits, but they have kept the Banshees out of the production lines, which is so important. They've done a good job so far.
Yeah, these are trapped now, and it's just too many Vikings, and I don't think the muta numbers have accumulated nearly as much as they need to.
He's going to try to attack into another planetary, but yeah, God, the Lings they're not going to cut it against those planetaries. If he can catch them like he caught the fifth down here and keep them from going up, then Sproutch is going to be in a pretty decent spot. But every time that Ketroc is able to establish a planetary, I don't think he's going to lose that base.
Yeah, pretty much. And Sproutch is expanding behind it, which is great. But he's got to then have some plan for a counterpunch where this gets wiped out. And
like Banelings, maybe?
Yeah, basically. He needs to make.
He just keeps yelling his name.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that works too.
Just yell at your opponent enough. Hey, it worked in game 1 of ANIbot versus MicroMachine.
Yeah. What am I thinking of? The things from Brood War, the air banelings. Why can't I think of the name?
The Scourge.
Scourge, yeah.
The air banelings.
Yeah. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much. They don't do splash, but yeah, they just go suicide on.
I was thinking the Scour. Yeah, the Scourge. Yeah, exactly. So he almost needs that sort of thing, but he needs something that will decisively wipe this. And usually that would be accumulating a lot of mutas or getting to a lot of corruptor. But he's sending in small groups of mutas, which was great early in the game because it was pulling everything apart. But now that there's so many Vikings, it's just going to lose them every time.
Yeah, Sproutch secretly a Pokemon bot in the wrong turn. It does sound like a Pokemon name for sure. No, we saw this last season work to beat Ketroc. Which bot was it? Do you remember? Where it was just the constant. It wasn't. I don't think it was even intentional. It was just a constant trickle of like Hydra, a few Hydras, some Lings and stuff, and it just eventually wore Ketroc down. And Ketroc so far has been kept on 4 bases. We've seen him try to expand a couple times now, and it's just not quite working out. So Sproutch needs to pull back. He's wasting a lot of Lings there, though. Oh wow, really committed that time.
Yeah, there I think he did get worker kills at least, but.
Sorry, this base is taken.
Yeah.
Please try again. Yeah, so Sproutch is living up to its bot trait. It's really good at just keeping on the pressure, stopping the expansions from going up. For the past 5 or 6 minutes, it's done that.
Something definitely, probably unintentional, is Ketroc is now maxed out, but because of the early Muta thing, a lot of the supplies in Vikings, which are now kind of just paperweights.
Well, and because they learned to stay at home and stay together. So they're just sitting at home.
Like they're enough. There's so much to deal with this that they don't even need this. They could be 5 of them and they'd be fine. But there's a whole bunch there, and then they're still not able to keep up with how widespread the mutas are. That they're just attacking everywhere, and the lings are just attacking everywhere. And will they ever actually kill one of these bases? Probably not. But
once Ketroc runs out of money to repair,
he just keeps making CCs too, which is interesting.
Well, he's really trying to expand because he's got these 4 bases on lockdown, and he's got a ton of money. Look at the mineral bank. So he's like, okay, take more bases. Just can't though. Yeah, Sproutch is attacking on multiple fronts all the time. These mutas keep getting trapped here in the main, but like you said, it's just causing more Vikings to do nothing.
Yeah.
So
they're just coming to pick this out. I mean, it's a big sacrifice to do
the other side though. What's going on here? Oh, it's is that the command center?
PC,
oh my god, it went all the way over here.
Yeah, PC killed by sports as you do,
as is normal.
Yeah.
Oh, did Ketroc get that top right base secured?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So Ketroc has this. I think that's the last bout until Ketroc can start clearing bases. Yeah. That's going to be the last one that he gets.
He'll probably get this one. Yeah, he'll be able to clear this out and land. Will he get the planetary put in place? Don't know.
So is this harass doing anything in the end, or is it just it seems like it's starting to taper off quite a bit?
It's a lot. It's one thing. Even on the 4 base, you could say, hey, eventually I'm going to mine him out, and even if I'm 2-1, I'm going to get there. 5, 6 bases, no, you're going to mine up on 8 bases before he's done with his 5 or whatever. So no, not really. If he cancels this would be great.
Yeah,
he needs to get this. Oh, he's just going to kill it outright. That's pretty good. Or no, he got cancel. He canceled the planetary part, but he killed the CC.
Okay. Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter though. Look at Ketroc's bank.
Irrelevant.
The only thing that is, I think, keeping Sproutch alive is just this multiple units kind of everywhere. We saw Ketroc struggle last season with it a little, committing to one spot, to one attack. Ketroc is just kind of ping-ponging back and forth a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit too much here. Can't decide. He left those mutas alone to kind of do some damage on that base that just went down once more. And the mutas are slowly getting things done. It
just the least.
Almost doesn't feel like enough.
Can we pull up a lost resources tab? Because I think you're going to see something startling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
That sounds about right.
A lot better. I remember last Ketroc was definitely on the other end of that, where he had lost a lot of resources but kept staying alive. But man, the defense has been solid. Or wait, maybe I'm thinking of a different bot. Anyway.
It's hard to come in here, and you're never going to mine someone out at a 4-1 ratio.
Yeah.
And even worse, and gas is less of a concern. But it's the right idea, and we saw the game start with this idea and be very successful. But it provided cover to get these bases up, and it was doing damage controlling Ketroc. It has to transition though, and it's not doing that.
And we saw that in the notes as well about Sproutch. It just builds a few kind of limited units, so it definitely gets a little bit pigeonholed, I think, in that sense, where sometimes the lings just aren't effective. But as I say that, the SCVs have been cleared out for the most part. There are a few able to repair. That's the most damage he has gotten onto a planetary so far.
I like
Does the contaminate stop it from shooting?
I think it does, doesn't it? I don't know.
I know it stops production, but does it stop? Can you contaminate a bunker and have it stop shooting?
I don't know. I really don't know.
These are things I've never thought about.
I don't think you can, though. I don't think it does. Because that would be a thing. Like, people could use that for, and I don't know why it would be different for a planetary.
So maybe the planetary was fine. We'll keep our eye on it.
Because there was at one point there, the Oracle was going to have the ability that like disabled the building.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And that was a unique thing because it could disable turrets or cannons or something. But yeah.
Man, these pesky mutas.
So many Vikings.
Well, it's even kind of pulling the Banshees back, it seems. Yeah. There seems to be that hive mentality kind of going on again for Ketroc, where it's like, oh, there's Banshee or mutas in my main, pull everything back. You know, all the Banshees are.
The Banshees still do is when their cloak runs out, they go home.
Yeah, oh, that's what they're running home for. Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah. That makes more sense. And then they sit at home and get some energy. Okay.
So,
yeah, Contaminate does not stop attacking. I was like, that'd be weird if it did.
You would see that in every game.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah,
that's true.
Doesn't happen.
All right, well, are you ready for another 20 minutes of game? No, I think we are starting to get mined out a little bit here. Ketroc, he's got a little bit of mining here, and then he's got his main base is that upper right base is the freshest, and even that's probably getting close to about halfway through. Sproutch has just been mining like crazy, though, and they're both fighting over this bottom kind of leftish map or base here. And I think, whoever can kind of take this position might end up just taking it. I don't know. It's really hard to say.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting as this accumulates to, like, both of them are getting more and more upgrades. Like, they're maxing out on all that. Ketroc already is, and we're about to hit three on basically everything for Sproutch here as well. And that does tip the balance on whether turrets survive or even the planetaries, how long they can survive if you start having super powered lings.
Yeah, he was getting. Did he get? Yeah, he got all the ling upgrades. So yeah, they are getting kind of super powered. All right, well, it's just going to be a non-stop skirmish. Both bots keep trying to take it and just keep failing miserably, trying to get that bottom base there. And that, I think this is going to be I think we're going to get to the point where this is the last base with any minerals or anything, and we're just going to kind of have a war of attrition. If that's the case, though, Ketroc's going to win this because he has just been so much more cost efficient.
Yeah,
incredibly.
At any given time, he's got like a CC that's ready to move in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that. More than 3 times as cost efficient.
Yeah.
That's solid stuff.
We're approaching the 1,000 ling dead mark.
Are we? Oh, what was it at? I didn't see.
It was just shy of 900 right now.
Oof.
And I'm sure it's above already. Yeah, there we go. 930.
Oh, it just shoots up.
Dead ling go brr.
Pretty much. Oh, yeah, the mutas have been the only thing keeping him in this. But, yeah, there's going to be no answer in the end. You can harass all you want, but unless you got Vipers out or something, there's nothing going to kill this ball of Viking.
Which is kind of what I was really hoping. Like, when I first saw the infestation pit, I was thinking, like, okay, if it can tech up to something else, there's a way out of this to break it, but it didn't. This is obviously the plan, and he does call that out. And, again, it's a new bot. We talked about this right off the top, that a newer one is just not going to have like control over 15 units. Mm-hmm. You're not going to code that in right away. You're going to add things as you need them, and I think this is going to show that type of late game need. But yeah, it just takes time to evolve and mature into that.
For a new bot, though, the micro and decision making has been incredibly good.
Yeah, and if you have to allocate your resources, this is obviously the independent control here is beyond what a lot of bots can do. So this is clearly where he's put his time and energy.
Yeah, it is reminding me of like a Zerg Gensi bot a little bit.
Yeah.
A lot more aggressive than Gensi bot, but it's just non-stop harass out of Sproutch here. Non-stop.
Yeah. I'm really eager to see this one, even over this season. What's it going to evolve into being? And you could definitely see this. Like, this is such a weird initial match because of how kind of strange Ketroc is. You can imagine this absolutely obliterating a lot of bots.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they just would not be able to deal with the mass force like this.
They just wouldn't be able to keep putting on pressure like this against that mass force. Ketroc would finally be able to just push and steamroll across. And I think that is kind of its biggest weakness here. And we've seen it a few times now where it just Yeah, it gets distracted by the attacking force and stays at home. The
Yeah.
turrets can deal with the mutas for the most part. Planetaries are going to deal with the lings for the most part.
Yeah,
You know.
if you think about it too, it's actually a little bit of a MicroMachine approach from Zerg.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, you can kind of see that influence.
Yeah, I mean, just constant pressure. Like it's an
Yeah.
obvious strategy, but it's often a hard to execute strategy, particularly like splitting and having things operate independently. Because if you ever drop the ball and the opponent can come kill you, then they just kill you. But so it's a fine line to be on the aggression side constantly.
Yeah.
So he's now basically hit. He's mined out his first 4 bases.
Yeah, Sproutch is running out of money quick here.
Yeah.
I think he's only got about 1 base worth of mining, not even, like half a base even. Yeah, there's a couple almost dead patches there, and then a few up at the top, but
Spruce was
Yeah.
better than
Ketroc will win this war of attrition, it seems.
There is someone brings up the 9-hour draw limit. We should point out, because it may end up happening someday, I think the bots are 45-minute timed, I think is the limit. Yeah, it's 45 minutes. Yeah, so we haven't quite gotten there, but I could see that at some point.
I'm trying to think what other bot is really kind of defensive and I don't think we really have one as turtley as Ketroc.
No, yeah, definitely nothing as turtley. But I could see something like a Ketroc MicroMachine.
Or Gensi bot, yeah, any kind of those TVTs
like
tend
that.
to end up like that.
Yeah, because you could easily end up with a case where like everyone's got planetaries, no one can make any progress. You could end up with that sort of thing.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, as it is, yeah, Sproutch is kind of fizzling out here. The mutas are going to keep harassing and starting to deny this base, but Ketroc did claim that bottom base finally, which means that's that much less money Sproutch can take, and like we said, Sproutch is just about out of money.
Yeah.
And once that happens, no more lings, no more mutas. You can see the production tab has greatly dwindled at this point as well, and I think this is kind of the last real big attack here. You know, we're going to see 1 or 2 other little pokes, but yeah, Sproutch is almost out. Yeah. Good game, though. Yeah, Sproutch really showing that can go toe-to-toe for a long, long time. It's just a little too wasteful. Yeah, there was no retention of units. There was good retention of units from little skirmishes here and there, but it's just added up so many lings of it. How many lings do you think we're at? 1,500?
Yeah, probably at least 1,500.
Can we take a look?
No,
1,200. Still, that's a lot of dead lings.
I guess he actually just ran out of minerals. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely need some later game units. Man, some Vipers with this composition would crush.
Absolutely.
Would do so well.
Yeah, bots would still have a hard time dealing with the... people would just have to specifically program in to be able to separate the units out, which I'm sure would not be an issue, but I wonder how many even did. So
I don't know what's happening here.
All right, well, this is happening.
The spores, I think, are freaking him out or something.
Yeah, it's got to be something like that.
There we go. Ravens. Oh, I like the Raven mass turret there to just start killing stuff. Yeah, I'm really excited that Ketroc's working with Ravens. Definitely not a lot of our bots. Yeah, obviously they get them for like a little detection and stuff.
Yeah.
But Ketroc was talking last week, I think it was, in our post bots, just kind of how you can individually now micro the turrets essentially. So, you throw down 10 turrets. If each one can now be targeted to the most, optimal unit, be it drones, be it, a carrier, whatever the case may be. It's just going to be a lot more effective in the hands of a bot. So I'm excited to kind of see how the Raven play starts to evolve into our meta.
For sure. I mean, if we were still in the days where the Raven Cheeto missile did damage, then that would be brutal. But
so brutal, yeah. No, I think that would be a little too overpowered. All right, well, there it is. Ketroc takes game number 1 after 35 minutes, our longest game.
Yeah.
I think of the season so far, definitely up there.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
I'm sure we're going to get a good amount of those as the season goes on. But yeah, again, nicely fought. I really do like the potential that Sproutch has.
Yeah.
Our little Pokemon bot in training. We'll train him up right, don't you worry.
Definitely. Definitely. So, I mean, we get to see this again.
Of course.
So we'll see if that goes.
Yeah, hopefully we don't have to watch that all again. That was a long game. Oh, I hear my voice. Is that hello?
Why? What's going on?
The alternate dimension breaking in. Quick, close the tear.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna take a look at some replays and then hop into game number 2. This is our last best of 3 for the night. So thank you everybody for sticking with us. If you're in a late time zone, which I know a lot of our bot authors are, thank you so much for sticking around and hanging out with us. It's great to have you guys in the chat, giving us kind of your insight, your predictions. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, a lot of people watching today, so it's nice.
Yeah, pretty
good to have you all here.
Yeah.
So yeah, here we go. It's just gonna we see nonstop aggression from the mutas, and then the Lings just not doing what they and got so many dead Lings. 1,300. Oh, that's true. That is how the Zerg works, though. They don't care how many die. They will just keep attacking until they win or lose. So played it like a true Zerg.
Exactly. It's in the spirit.
In the spirit of the Zerg, indeed.
So can it work on another map though?
And we thought the Vikings were dead weight. Not true.
At the
beginning a little, but nothing's going to be able to clear the sky short of
nothing
Vikings.
Nothing would ever clear it, but it was about 12 too many. Like he eventually, once we got into this, like 5 was plenty because the mutas were not even engaging or dealing with them. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's fine. Like there's ultimately no problem with it.
But no, going back to your question, like a different map, I think if Sproutch can put on earlier pressure and stop Ketroc from getting onto 3 bases, I think in my mind that's kind of the stopping point. If he can stop Ketroc from getting that 3rd, it's just going to be, he's going to be able to keep denying, keep killing, and Ketroc's just not going to have enough to build up. So.
Yeah, exactly. The initial Lings and mutas were quite effective, and then they just lost effectiveness. Mm-hmm. And if the initial mutas too were able to keep a Viking count down such that they spiraled, because while there were constant mutas, I almost would doubt if there was ever a point in the game where there were more than 12, even though over the game there were like 80.
Yeah.
So,
well, let's see as we hop into game number 2 here, Ketroc versus Sproutch. Let's do it.
Ketroc. Santes. Sproutch.
Sproutch is a snow leopard in a snowstorm in a blizzard, hiding in a blizzard. That's the image, in case you didn't know. Ice and chrome. So yeah, we'll see how this map. This is a pretty big move distance. I think Ketroc's not gonna. Well, I don't know. The 3rd bases are kind of exposed and kind of sticking out there. Yeah, we'll just kind of have to wait and see.
Yeah, it'll come down to what's like the muta attack path as well, because the last strategy of going along the bottom of the map, finding the corner to be stuck in and then waiting there was not the play.
I don't think that'll happen as much on this because there's not as much dead airspace. Yeah. I think that's what lured him in. Was like, ooh, look at all this room to go hide, and then boom, corner. Here you don't have that as much. So
yeah, I've got the same sort of impression of it. I don't think we're going to see the same thing.
Bot time is I forgot. Bot time max time is now raised to 1 hour, so we have 1 hour max game time limit because of Ketroc.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Oh. All right, let's see it, Sproutch. First link's coming across. Yeah, well, I guess the attack path for the mutas is just kind of everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they was hitting multiple targets. It's just you saw the larger group usually went down there, but what was causing it to do that, I'm not sure.
Yeah. I like the snow on this map. This is such a nice little map. Nice little ambiance.
It's nice.
Notice it doesn't snow on the high ground.
True. Which is the opposite of real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little snowstorm in the valley.
Yeah, you think it would make the metal slippery.
That would be a weird mechanic.
That would be a weird mechanic. Not only high ground, but things just fall down the ramp.
I don't think it carried over. No, it didn't carry into StarCraft 2. Remember, Brood War has that, or the StarCraft 1 had the mechanic. You do less damage. You can shoot the high ground, but you do less damage. Like if a unit from the high ground attacks you, you can shoot it back, but you miss like all the time.
Yeah, it's the missing. Yeah, you miss a third of your shots or something.
Yeah,
I think it's a third.
But they don't have that in this, right?
Yeah, they just went with the vision in this.
Yeah,
which is.
I always thought that was kind of a cool mechanic, you know.
Yeah.
Instead of either yes or no, it's like, oh, okay, there's a little bit of maybe here, but it doesn't really do much to help you, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, all right. So 2 bases for Ketroc coming up here. Sproutch is just going to kind of do that. I think that's kind of what Sproutch is missing against Ketroc specifically. Is it's just a little too defensive. Those should all be Zerglings, those spine crawlers, and he should be attacking right now. He should be stopping the natural planetary from coming up.
Yes.
But if he could stop that, yeah, he gets an easy win, I think. But as it is with Ketroc getting those planetaries up, now the Lings start to fall off. So now second base, pretty good. Can he deny the third? And then we'll go from there. Can he deny the fourth? You know, and we'll see. We shall see.
Indeed we shall. We got the triple starport, of course, coming down for Ketroc right now. And it has floated its factory into the I don't need this position.
Yep. Just hang out there. That's fine.
That's where that goes. He's not even. You should scout with it or something. I guess he needs to keep it.
Yeah,
alive.
he needs it to build more starports.
More things. Yeah, maybe once you've got enough, you can do it.
Yeah, send the barracks or something.
Yeah.
All right, well, we got Mutas going to be coming up shortly, and I think that's really when Sproutch likes to start attacking, is get the Mutas up and then start doing pressure. So it's, you know, stay defensive until then, so I don't die while trying to get Mutas out, which is a good idea. You know, that's going to work a lot of the time. But against Ketroc, you just I think you gotta start attacking.
Yeah.
Put on that pressure. Don't let him bunker up.
Something that was happening a little throughout the game that it never really became an issue, but the Vikings were going around and killing off overlords. So the supply cap was coming down by the end of the game, but he had kind of run out of money anyway to refill it. But that would, if you've got that many Vikings, that's certainly a use. Like you could completely just dive on wherever the overlords are once you've got like 15 Vikings. And just take everything out.
Mm-hmm.
Just perma supply block a person.
Now we're going to see more Ravens this game because he said at the beginning, mass Raven strategy. Yeah. Obviously, we've seen the Banshees and stuff, but
should be.
I'm hoping for a little bit heavier of a Raven composition. I think would be. It'll still work well against the Mutas. I think.
Yeah, good.
There we go. Wing attack coming in. You're going to the wrong base. You need to attack the third.
Yeah,
Sproutch.
No yet.
I should. Yeah, if you could pounce onto this right now and keep denying the third, this is how you're going to stop Ketroc.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Sproutch is going to pull back home, get a little bit more here. Spire's halfway done, so he might even wait till Mutas come out. And by then, I think it's going to be too late. Ketroc's going to have a fourth planetary up by then. I like the little Marine squad too, going to secure the location. That's hot.
Pretty good. Escort mission. Yeah.
Hell yeah. And Wing's going to see it now, but. I guess it's not quite too late. He could still get in there and deny the planetary.
Yeah, there's a lot of time before the planetary fortress would actually.
Oh, especially once Neo. Yeah. And once Neo Steel finishes too. Right? No way he's going to break it.
We'll come on to this here now. We'll actually. Oh yeah, the turret priority is interesting. That he'll jump to that, which is good.
Oh, he's going to deny it from even finishing. Wow, I thought he was going to sit at home a little more defensively. Sproutch!
Is that just what he says when he thinks he did something good?
He did something good. Sproutch!
No. This is like the new like machine learning reinforcement system. If you get points, you just scream your own.
That's great. Okay, well, He slowed that base down, but now Ketroc is started to kick it into overdrive a little bit. Sproutch needs to start being very aggressive and very vigilant at knocking these bases down because we're about to have another planetary. Actually, I believe this is the map that we saw. It was last season. Was it this map where the Zerg was able to just keep flooding and attacking? I remember that base being a point of contention for a long time. It was either this or a map like this. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. Well, yeah, I don't know if it was this one, but you're right. It was a map very similar in layout.
Yeah.
All right, so he's trying to reestablish these. He's kind of got 2 bases or 3 bases on the go, really. So the expansions have not been shut down with nearly the same fortitude this time, although he did get like the 3rd. But the Muta's coming in now with the links. Is going to throw a wrinkle in it.
Oh, is he going to be able to get onto this planetary in time? No, he's going to go for the one further north, so he'll at least be able to shut this down. But Ketroc's going to be on a solid 5 bases now, and that's where I was talking about. That's just too many for Sproutch to deal with, I think. Sproutch! Yeah. All right, yeah, it's going to lose some wings here, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think Ketroc's into his unbreakable position once more.
Yeah, and he's really, like, especially with 3 turrets there, the 2 Vikings will now start to compound, and you either keep this Viking count to nothing, or you forget about it.
Yeah. Forget about it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it does look like there are a few more Ravens. No, it's about the same amount of Ravens, I guess.
Is for now, I think largely because he's now had to trigger into the Viking production, but I expect there will be more Ravens to come, so something has to take that extra supply.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, and this is where we just see the never-ending death of Zerglings here, because, man, they're not even going to make it to the planetary, and they're just, it's nice they're killing turrets, I guess, but that's free kills for Ketroc, Yeah. Those turrets are just going to die anyway, so no, that's beautiful. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly can't think of much more to say. It's just going to be a nonstop flood of Ling Mute again. We're going to see very similar to the last game, and I think Ketroc's just unbreakable at this point.
I think so too. Once he got a couple of these established, there's really nothing more to it.
Yeah, if we see a blocked expansion, that's nice. But no, if we see a base go down, then yes, maybe something can happen, but I don't think Sproutch is going to be able to knock down any bases from this point.
Yeah, something weird's going to have to happen, like he catches all the Ravens out somewhere or something.
But they never go out.
They
somewhere.
never leave, yeah.
They're always with the Banshees or with the Vikings or with something, so they're... Oh, there's one that was grouping up, and it doesn't even take a scratch, so... I like this. The turrets, he's able to just kind of keep following and plopping a turret down and keeping the mutas. I don't think the mutas have really done anything. Maybe a few worker kills, but not a lot. I like the turret placement, too, of that.
Yeah.
Really nice. Expansion cleared. Blocked expansion. Sproutch!
He felt he accomplished something.
I'm blocking expansions!
Yeah.
That's something, I guess.
There we go.
Ooh, but yeah, no, Ketroc's going to be able to start. I think Ketroc's going to be able to secure a few more bases quicker this time around, but we'll see. I think this is actually hurting the mutas not having as much dead airspace. Yeah, they got caught in the corner last time, but they had a lot more room to maneuver. This time, not so much.
Yeah,
that's
exactly. They were able to bounce in and out of dead space like that, but getting chased off again.
Yeah, he's having a hard time even denying these expansions. So,
indeed he is. Okay. Oh, we got one Raven that was
running
off on its own. Yeah,
it got separated from the group somehow. Yeah, you keep denying expansions. Hey, I do again. I really like Sproutch's decision making, its ability to keep denying the expansions as opposed to just going straight down the middle over and over, trying to break a planetary over and over. He's identifying these new bases coming up. It's like, okay, I need to kind of work from the outside in. It seems is kind of his idea. Oh man, nice turret placement behind the mineral line there.
Yeah, I mean this is. Again, I said it last game, but like this would be super effective against a lot of bots, a lot of strategies. It just so happens he's run into a meat grinder.
Yeah.
And Like, this is just perfectly. This is just exactly what you need to do to kill this.
Yeah.
Is just absorb so much damage.
It almost looks like he's barely scratching the paint off the command center there, because the SCV is just so perfectly repaired. Yeah, he is getting some good worker kills here, actually.
Yeah.
This is the first time he's broken in, and of all places, the natural.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to get cleaned up.
It's going after the top base with the mutas, but the Vikings are trying to chase that away.
Yeah, Ketroc's doing a good job splitting apart this game and actually kind of staying with the attacks.
Yeah.
Instead of ping-ponging a little too much. This is solid. Ketroc, I think, has got this in the bag.
Yeah, I don't see any way to break it or do anything to it, and there's too many bases, like you said. So even if he's consistently denying these extra 2 or 3, then,
he's still losing, I think.
He's still going to lose. And like, it's just not efficient enough, because you can mine a Terran out. You can do it in a very long game, but you can't be doing it at a 4-to-1, 5-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
You'll mine out. So, and that's kind of what we saw in the last game. Like, it just hit a point where the first 4 bases were done.
Indeed. Well, it's going to calm down just for a little bit here, as mutas. Yeah, they just can't poke it. There's no dead space. They can't. There's nowhere for them to hide or fly or get an event. Anytime they try to go behind the bases, there's just turrets everywhere, and they're just getting wrecked. So, oh wow, it is.
Okay. Why though? I don't know why that's blocked.
Huh.
Interesting.
Interesting.
I mean, certainly the one Hail Mary here is that somehow.
Oh, is the worker blocked?
Oh, maybe the worker.
Maybe the worker trying to build it got stuck on something.
I don't know.
I don't know.
No, well, it should be. Is he even building that, or does he have a CC that he floats? Because that's what he was doing last game. They were all built, and he was just. But I don't know if that's what he's doing or not.
Yeah, I don't know. Man, it almost looks like Sproutch is doing something and breaking through a little bit and getting damage done. And Sproutch has really just focused all efforts on this natural, which is, I guess, the most exposed at the moment, because there wasn't a whole lot of SCVs there in mind. But Ketroc's already replaced those SCVs. And, these bases are just not getting broken. Yeah. As you so eloquently said, they're just getting thrown into a meat grinder.
Indeed. But I don't know. You can tell, like, the myth of it, though. There was always something people said when you were a kid. If you look into a mirror and yell Sproutch 5 times, it will permanently block one of your expansions.
That was horrible.
Yeah, I don't know what's exactly going on here. I don't even know which expansion this is, because it looked like that top one was actually coming down again, and then the mutas killed it again. So I don't even know which one that really is. Ling Flood here again. A lot less workers this time. We'll actually clear it out, but is there...
You know what Sproutch needs?
Yeah.
Sproutch needs a Nidus Worm in the main to kill the production. Because he is getting damage. Yeah. And there's not SCVs readily available at all times to just start repairing right next to the production.
Yeah.
One Nidus into the main, if he could even get it up with all the Banshees and stuff, that'd be the hard part. But
yes.
Good work. He needs to somehow stop production, but he just can't.
Yeah, exactly. So
Ketroc having a rough time.
Just constantly denying some of these bases. They're controlling that very well, and kind of you would think he's eventually going to get this, but not right now. Like, he could eventually get this once he gets to like +3 or something, but it's just not going to happen with the state that we're currently at. But Ketroc again has hit the maxed out point, so the army you see is the army you got. It almost benefits him at this point to now lose SCVs.
Get more army, yeah.
Yeah, because he doesn't.
The only army you need. Yeah. Again, though, Sproutch is maxed out.
Yeah,
So it's not like Sproutch is in a horrible side, and it's
Yeah.
not even like
Sproutch-
Sproutch has too many workers.
exactly.
Gotta look
Sproutch
at him
is no
here.
slouch.
Yeah, Sproutch ain't no slouch.
So he's
There we
gonna kill off some more workers here, getting
Oh, is he gonna get this
a lot
base?
of them, right? But
No.
yeah,
Oh, maybe.
yeah, it's closer
Maybe.
with no ravens, no turrets there. It's all
Maybe.
planetary. Yeah, he's got a lot of
Gonna
back.
pull back at the
We'll
last
be
second.
able to take it down. Yeah,
Hey.
I think the key
go.
was the +2 had finished now, or +3 melee had finished. So
That's helpful.
yeah, that definitely makes a big difference. I don't know if it got. I didn't notice last time if it ever got crackling.
Yeah, he got it this time.
Did he get? Yeah,
Yeah, he's got adrenal glands this time. I would assume he got it last game too.
he must have. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
didn't see. Yeah, it would make sense because that's definitely where he's going. Yeah, the +3 flyer attack also now underway. Definitely helpful. Five more ravens being made to replace all the workers. I guess.
Ketroc doesn't need anymore.
Yeah.
I will say impressive that Sproutch got that bait. I didn't even think that he was going to get one. But yeah, I guess with 3/3 cracklings, it does help a bit. But yeah, like you said, there was no ravens there. There was just nothing else to stop him. So as soon as there's anything else to help the planetary, I don't think he's going to break anything.
Yeah, it's too much. But yeah, the planetary itself is probably too slow to kill a full surround.
Ooh, you can say now, though, Ketroc lied. It was not indestructible, as he claimed.
That is true. That is true.
Lying to us.
And for that lie, he's been disqualified from the tournament.
Banned from all future seasons.
Yes. You are now only eligible for League of Legends tournaments and the presidency. He's trying to get this position. Again, all the workers being cleared out. Like this could eventually become an issue. I don't know. He is replacing some of the SCVs, but he's also, the moment the supply gets freed up, he's building ravens and stuff too. If it continues to happen, will he have enough supply left to replace the workers? This is a future problem that will probably not be an issue.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
As long as one SCV stays alive, he's got 40 something still, so at the moment it's not a big deal.
Yeah, he is replacing.
What
Like,
is Sproutch is actually? Sorry,
we've seen in the past just where something hits the worker number they want, and then the code actually never tells them to rebuild them. Once the worker count's done, it's done.
Oh yeah.
We saw some dwindle to nothing, but that's not the case here, obviously.
No, Ketroc always knows to build more.
But he will.
Sproutch breaking through?
Yeah, he's getting that one. I mean, that's the natural again.
Yeah,
So
it's
just
not
the
a big
rebuild.
deal.
Yeah.
He's starting to take the bases on the left side of the map.
Taking the base. I love that one too because he's jumping. He's jumping. It's not the
Power
next
move.
one, yeah. But
Total power move.
have a point here. I mean, the excess minerals, obviously, Ketroc has a ton, but because it's been mass Raven, he's not in like thousands of gas. He's in the high hundreds.
Yeah, but if he never loses a Raven once you're maxed out on Ravens,
yeah.
you don't need gas.
Yeah.
Look at this turret forest he can build. Endless. Absolutely endless. Well, damn. Cracklings are good. What is going on?
Like, that's another thing. Like, these never get better. So,
That's true.
I
mean, they get the armor upgrade, but
yeah, I guess. But they don't. Do they shoot better? They didn't shoot better.
no, there's no shooting upgrade for the turret.
Yeah. So, whereas in the last game, the Banshees get better. So I don't know. It does kind of become a little bit asymmetrical. Because look at the mini map here. Look at the flood that's kind of happening, and we are on 4 bases. One of them's mined out.
Wow, hold on. I need to go get my shoe real quick to eat it.
Yeah. This is an interesting development, and I think it is kind of a result of one side of this game. The upgrades matter a lot more than the other side.
Yeah.
So.
And Sproutch can survive to the late game. We've seen it. So, yeah, we're 22 minutes in here. And Sproutch has taken down more bases than I ever thought possible.
We also haven't seen, if we can get the resources lost tab up, we haven't seen the same sort of muta mass sacrifice. There's still a ton dead, don't get me wrong.
1,300 lings.
But they weren't like passively running to the corner to die. They're remaining active and so on. Like they're actually getting value this time, whereas before they were literally just sacrificing themselves.
Is this map bigger in terms of resources? Are there more available bases?
I was trying to count that earlier. There were 6 aside last time. I feel like, yeah, maybe there are.
I think that might be playing a part of it, giving Sproutch just more income to keep throwing bigger balls of stuff. Because he's at about the same amount of lost Zerglings as we saw last game. But he's still putting on a lot more pressure. This is when we saw it to start to dwindle. But there's still 4 bases he's minding off of health only. 5 bases.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, I think there's just a lot more here. Oh, Ketroc's holding on, though. You know, this definitely is taking a turn in a direction I did not see coming. But Ketroc's been maxed out. Yeah, can we see the resources lost? And see, I'm sure Ketroc has just barely lost anything. A lot of SCVs, but that's about it.
Yeah, but it's a lot closer.
Oh
like, as one-sided as this is, it's not as ridiculous as it was the first time. The first one was 4 to 5 to 1, and the gas count was like this 7,000 something to like 800. Now we're a lot more even on that, and a 3 to 1 ratio with a 4 to 1 base count is fine. It's a matter of can he just kind of keep it up.
Well, he's going to keep putting on the pressure. He's got income still. So, yeah, I'd say that Sproutch can keep it up. Starting to take Ketroc's bases. That's a big deal. I just don't even know how to call this one anymore. I thought for sure Ketroc was just going to be able to hold like the wall there and just not even have to deal with this. But yeah, I don't know what went so differently this game that allowed Sproutch to kill off so many more bases.
I think it's just the mechanic of how the Ravens defend, like that they kind of have to be there a lot more. Yeah, I don't know.
I guess there's not as many Banshees.
Yeah, that's it. The lack of the Banshee constant fire, the fact that it's turret based is a little different. He can't be like, it is taxing the energy on all those Ravens. He can't just do that permanently, whereas the Banshees can permanently fire. But I don't know. It's a weird one. Also, again, the Vikings, they're obviously holding the mutas off, but it's not the same sort of mass slaughter I think we saw before either. But yeah, we'll see how this plays out. Like, it could still stabilize, kind of. Like, ultimately, Ketroc doesn't actually need resources, but he does need to maintain buildings over time.
Well, that's why I think if all the buildings start to get killed and he gets kind of into his main, he doesn't leave his bases ever. So if there's just still attacks coming at his main, he's never going to push out.
Yeah.
So he'll just eventually die. Yeah. Well, yeah, I say it, but maybe these Ravens can literally just live forever, and Sproutch will then eventually use up all of its resources. So
yeah.
Who knows anymore? Get comfy, everybody. I think we've got a long rest of this one, and if we go to an ace match, this is going to be a long best of 3 Undersword.
Yeah, no, definitely it will be. Yeah. Is he eventually going to break through it all here? Like, we need to ultimately hit a point where Ketroc is out of minerals to repair the buildings.
Yeah, that's really
the way it's going to go. He's trying to retake that top base, and with Sproutch like underneath it, is he going to find this in time? His stuff has kind of stopped going over there. So what's this? Something is coming that way that we'll see it. Okay.
Yes, we found out what it takes to push Ketroc back. It's 2,000 plus lings.
Yeah.
Yeah, just it's it's kind of Ketroc saying it is just a little bit too defensive, too worried about protecting what's at home and not doing any kind of counter pressure. Because I don't think we've seen any counter pressure this game.
Yeah.
Last game we at least saw some bases kind of getting denied, but Sproutch he's just taking bases on Ketroc's side of the map, and like, nope, whatever. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, that natural will get back down. The planetary is almost finished there, but there's not really even a lot of minerals left there. Gas is taken out at that far base, which the mutas have been working on for approximately 18 minutes.
Well, that's good. I mean, if he ever has to make more ravens, it's good to knock that out. But
yeah, no, he is consuming. He is consuming the gas, and we talked about how it would eventually dwindle, but he's down to 24 workers. On the flip side, though, Sproutch is actually off the max worker count now as well. And I talked about this closer to the start, but the overlord count is coming down. He's having to replace those. I don't even really know what's killing them, but because the Vikings are not really getting to that side of the map.
This has been the bloodiest ProBots game I think we've ever seen.
I think so too. Yeah, I don't think we've ever had this amount of mass death. In the very first season, our very first finals, the whole match was like a constant Ling and Muta flood into a Terran base. That was pretty rough, but even that I don't think quite was doing this.
You can tell how they never expected unit losses to be into the 4 digits.
Yeah.
Because you can't even really see that 4th digit all the way. Yeah, Sproutch is, I think, doing it.
Yeah, he's again.
Ketroc's got more supply, but Sproutch is pushing Ketroc back. I don't know, Endersword.
The overall dwindling supply though is a little concerning to me now. Like he's coming down to like this 120 range, and the mineral count is not. Despite all these bases, he's not producing as if he has all these bases.
Oh, and he's just mining them out.
Because of things like this, which is he's trying to mine from over here, but every time he does, it gets wiped out. So this may end up trickling back the other way, which is this gets cleared up. Eventually, Ketroc can retake them, and that's it. And if you end up in a mined out versus mined out position, then that seems like Ketroc should win for sure.
This is like Neo versus Morpheus in their first fight, where Neo's just nonsense, it's like kicking it, and Morpheus is just like deflecting everything, and then he's just gonna barrel through maybe and win. But I don't know, we'll see here. Sproutch does still kind of have a chance because Ketroc is pretty much mined out as well too. So if he could maybe start killing some of the Ravens, there are mutas still popping out. They're just not partaking in this main fight.
Yeah.
The Queens even could get a couple kills because again, there's only one Banshee here.
Yeah.
So
this forward base here position is actually really interesting. This is a thorn in his side, and it's distracting. It's taking a lot of attention from Ketroc. Like everything he has is right here, trying to somehow deal with this base. The turrets are not really out. They're killing some of the queens. If you're able to get like 8 queens there, the energy for the turrets might not have overwhelmed the healing on the queens. But he looks like he's breaking it now. Yeah,
I think Ketroc has weathered the storm. I got a little nervous there, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
For a few minutes, for quite a little bit of time, I really thought Sproutch was starting to break through and was gonna eventually just like you said, kind of tear down the buildings. Even if you can't kill the army right away, if you kill all the buildings, you win. But no, I think Ketroc, with just his longevity, his ability to retain his army, it's those Ravens. They live forever.
Sproutch himself now down to 29 workers. The economy severely hurt.
I think that's it.
He's not going to be able to replace. He's retaken this top base, but there wasn't a lot of mining there. And now that he's taken out that thorn in the side base, this army's going to come wipe this.
Oh, he gets a Raven.
Big pickup. Big pickup.
Huge kills. Could change the game, Endersword. I think, Ketroc has done it. I got nervous there for a minute.
There we go. He's going to retake this middle left base, and then he'll eventually retake this top base, and then that will be enough.
All right, our predictions came true. Thank goodness.
Yeah, he had him on a razor's edge there, but
I'm impressed.
Yeah, not quite enough to really do it.
Yeah, no, I am very impressed by Sproutch's play. Kind of like you said earlier, I think against a lot of other bots, Sproutch is just going to manhandle them. So I'm very excited to see what Sproutch can do in the lower bracket. But again, we've got bots like Tier in the lower bracket. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? This season of ProBots is already insane. Insanely good.
Yes.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah, pretty... yeah, definitely tense there for a while.
Lost Zergling count? What's it at?
22. Yeah, 20.
Oh,
I was going to add extra numbers, but 22 was what I was going to say.
That's what you were going to guess for sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying, but what?
Yeah, like we know that this would have been an interesting one to see hit full mine out because we know that Ketroc's army was never going to die. So it would have been a race against time of the Lings trying to kill each building before.
Well, there's only one base left on the top left there. I think that's all the money left in the map. So
there's the middle one.
Yeah, that's it.
Getting killed too, and then the top one. Yeah.
Oh, is there? Oh, okay. There's a little bit. That's it. Yeah,
that's it.
Wow, what a great series. A lot of great series tonight, but Ketroc will take the win and remain in the upper bracket. Sproutch will go down to face, who was it? Feels like so long ago, ANIbot.
Yeah.
So we'll have a nice little Sproutch versus ANIbot game. ANIbot, though, we saw ANIbot putting up a pretty good fight against MicroMachine. So that's going to be an awesome match in a couple weeks as well.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, there's a lot of good things. Gone are the days where there's like a weak bot that people can pick on. Like we no longer have bots that only Ling Rush. We no longer have bots that, well, we do have MicroMachine that crashes when it tries to bunker mine, but that will be fixed, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but
it's what it gets for showing off and being too fancy.
Exactly.
Sometimes you trip
But yeah, we no longer have that like super weak opponents, which we did in the early days, and
it's a lot more balanced.
Everyone here is here because they were in the top part of the arena ladder, and you can't get there unless you're meeting a base level of good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, phenomenal stuff. Here's some replays. Definitely. Again, check out that AI arena ladder. That's where you're going to see a lot of these bots, including Ketroc and Sproutch, playing against. You'll be able to have your bot go up against them and start training. So hopefully we can see you new bot authors in some future seasons of ProBots. But yeah, where you're going to start is that AI arena. So go check that out. But yeah, it was just it almost worked. The nonstop attacks, and again, that's kind of what we've seen is Ketroc's weakness. As little as he loves to stay at home and defend, and so almost to his own detriment sometimes, where he really should be, killing some workers or slowing the enemy down. But as I say that, he holds and he wins in this fashion. So
yes,
I'm wrong technically.
Exactly. But this is long but entertaining. Long but very good. And if some minor tweaks could be made to this on Ketroc's side to make it 10 times better. Like if there was a strike force basically that was sent off to the side.
You got to have a hit squad.
Yeah, you got to have a hit squad.
Got to have the hit squad. All right, well, let's take a look at our bracket here. Before we wrap things up, we're done with day 2. Thank you all for joining us. This will be next week. Same time, same place here on ESChamp, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Day 3 of ProBots, we will have Spiny, GensiBot, Sharpie, PvP Easy. Yeah, I'm really excited for that one. I'm excited for all these. BenBot BC, so we got 2 new bots going up against each other. Harvester and Strelok got through today, and then MicroMachine versus Ketroc. I believe that's a rematch. Last season we had
that. Yeah, definitely did.
So that is going to be a lot of fun.
I want to see that one, and what I really want to see now is MicroMachine versus Sproutch.
That will be a killer one.
That would be a tug of war in a lot of ways. So,
anything is possible. It's still early on in our season. Again, this is a 7-week period, and then we will have our grand finals. So make sure you all hit that little like button and the thumbs up and the notification things and all that, so you can be here every week. Or if not, you can check out the VOD and make sure you go share it with people and get people excited for ProBots, because this is just so much fun, and it's gotten so much better every single season. I'm already excited for every season. I'm already excited for the next season. It's just getting so good. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Endersword, thank you so much again for being here.
Oh, always fun.
Are we going to see you streaming anytime soon?
Probably. Yeah, I'll probably get on tomorrow or something. I think I'm playing like some like tabletop simulator stuff with a bunch of people tomorrow. Maybe I'll stream some of that. We'll see.
That'd be fun.
We'll see.
Awesome. Well, everybody, make sure again you check out our Crown Club so you can get some exclusive behind-the-scene content. We're going to be recording a little post-spot show here tonight after we're done, and you'll be able to have access to that if you are a Crown Club member. So definitely join the Discord as well and join our forum. A lot of things you got to join to stay up to date, or just join the ones that you like. You know, you can get kind of the same info at some of the different places. But hopefully we'll see you in the Discord, and hopefully we'll see you all next week for day 3 of ProBots. And make sure you use that new scuffed Drek emote in the YouTube. You can become a YouTube subscriber as well. It all goes a long way to help support ESChamp in future seasons of ProBots.
Definitely.
All right, so that's it. We're going to see you guys all hopefully next week here on ESChamp for day 3, season 3 of 2020 here on ESChamp. Have a good night, everybody.